But look at what Lesego is doing.
I mean, I'm just looking at it, and
nobody has spared it. And let me say this: tell
not
them,
even me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bite my words. She's gonna bring that crown home.
Dog.
She's gonna win. Yeah, I'm calling it.
Why are these things so long?
Why? What is why?
These shows like this. I think she's been there 6 months.
It's
Why
Miss
are these
World.
so long?
It's Miss World, Baba. This is the world we are in. This is Miss World.
No, come on. But I really like the fact that like Leni, she's come into herself. You know what I mean? And I really, really respect that about her.
Yeah, I'm happy that she has excelled so well because, you know, we have this thing where sometimes it's like we rule people out even before we give them a chance.
Yeah.
And she was a girl who was obviously coming in after the success of what Bale did. And Bale was excellent.
Yeah.
But then people sort of put her on a pedestal where it's like she's not going to be able to deliver.
Yeah.
She hasn't even done anything. So you throw her out before you have even seen. And I'm so glad what is happening. That girl is winning everything from... Hey.
Listen, my problem was that like I don't know what it was. Yeah. You know, there was a request to invite her on the show before she left, and I said no.
Why?
I'm sitting here trying to figure out why. I swear, I'm so.
But guess what? It's kind of cool. It's
no,
okay.
He wouldn't have
you're gonna be interviewing Miss World.
You know what?
You're gonna be interviewing Miss World. Scar knew that she's gonna win.
I'm looking at this nigga.
He was looking at the bigger picture.
If I had suggested her then, none of you guys would have said yes. But I did. Did I tell you, mommy? So what was it about us then? I mean, a lot of us need to sit down and figure out why Nerenyata Lesego Batswana. No, road. Like we all need to.
I think not that Nerenyata
Budi
Lesego. We had
was it the body, Brando? Me, I'm serious.
No.
Like, what was it? Was it what was it?
No, I think people just thought she wouldn't be able to do as well as Palesa did.
Oh, Palesa. Oh, we put her in
so it was sort of the euphoria that Pali created where she was, you know, considered to be one of the best Miss Botswanas that was ever out there.
Watch your mouth.
What? I didn't watch my mouth.
Nah, no. Pale is okay. Like, she's not the best Miss Botswana we've ever had.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people had...
So that's what we think about ourselves.
There was this euphoria that Lesego is not going to be able to level up and live up to that. And
but
you haven't even given her a chance.
Do we think we're always going to have one Nigel? We're going to have one Litsi?
That's us. There'll never be another Litsi Letebo. And then because we think like that, we then don't put the resource.
Because
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this diamond mentality, Yarona, we don't manufacture these diamonds. They're there. God has created them. Now we just take from the ground and polish. So even in the human resource, we want to treat it like that.
That's a bar.
But when I left Yarona, it was, you know, where one day I just walked in, I found a letter. I read the letter.
The toxicity was early.
Yeah, and then the letter said, you are no longer a member of this radio station according to clause which I had not read the clause. I said, okay. If that's the situation, then I'm going to go back home.
Did they fire you
so
before
So that's the story that I left the radio station saying I'm going to buy a cigarette.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like, I don't even smoke.
I know that.
I've never smoked
That's
a day
when
in
I
my
knew they were
life.
fronting,
So I left because I was also ticked off.
Was it before or after Mike had left?
It was after Mike had left. Because what Mike usually does, Mike just comes in and does what he needs to do. He'll set it up and then he'll leave.
Because I'm trying to see if there was any animosity because Mike was not there anymore.
No.
And then it trickled down to you.
No. One of the managers tried to borrow my salary.
Ow, man.
And then the guy says to me, no, I agree with go makhabadenda 8,000
oh na bereka lo ena dale
so nkadime 5,000 gore na batla o duela one BMW nkadime 5,000 you go nah, you're a whole entire manager. I can't do that. So the following day when I came, I found a firing squad.
Of different identities,
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to it. Another edition of the PODI-CAST right here at Leo's Inn in Gap City around Kago Middle Star. You won't miss it. Okay? That's the only thing I can tell you. It's around Middle Star. And just look out for it. You can always find it on our Facebook.
Extension 11.
Okay, this is the type of guest we have. This nigga out here talking already. I gotta introduce you. It's Extension 11. In the house today, we're joined by someone who's very close to my artistic heart, because some of us started out really and looking up to him. I haven't even said props to the guys. What's up to Local Corner?
Local Corner in the house.
You know what's popping. And we're gonna be with you, for however long we have our drinks for. We're drinking our patty. It's in the house, and in the house, man, we're joined by none other than this is what the profile says: an energized artist known for his James Brown moves, a radio producer, a scriptwriter, a master of ceremonies, an actor, and a man keen on exploring comedy too. He is unquestionably an all-round entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bad Boy Brando Keabilwe.
Dipudi tsa Botswana da re di tumeletse gore ga gona na mapudi mo the podcast. E re di khandi e me jalo ke tla sipa de pere.
You got the patty in the house. What's up, big homie?
Tla sipa de pere. What's up, baby? We here.
Yeah, we're sipping the patty. You can have the patty with some ginger ale.
You know what?
Yeah.
I actually don't drink.
I know.
Yeah, it's
I was actually like on some.
These are the side effects of divorce. But I don't drink.
Kind of bad boy. You're already messing up my whole thing. Because usually what we do with these shows is that we start from the beginning with a guy. But we can't start off without acknowledging what just happened, what just transpired this week. We got the bad news about the passing of Mr. Tabontirang, a.k.a. Mapeta, a man who's also been on this very show as well, a guy that's very close to your heart as well. I don't know, how did you find out about his passing? And I don't know, what does that mean for you?
It's been a bit of a heavy morning for us in the creative industry, and I think I woke up this morning and to the news, obviously. Disbelief. You don't believe it. It still hasn't registered, but it has happened, and we are sort of reeling. Really Chabaya Botswana, and the deepest condolences go out to the family. I think we just have to let them process it. Rona, we love him, obviously, having been in the industry with him. But I think really Botswana, this thing has to suffice.
Definitely.
Where we just allow Bakohabo Tabo to just have Nako.
Yes, sir.
Just to come to terms with
Definitely.
But it's a very sad day for us today.
Definitely. I want to talk about social media, and I'm like, it's been another one of those situations where people before even the family gets a chance to speak on it. How do you think things like that can be tackled? Because he is a prominent figure. We are prominent figures. But how better can we deal with these things?
I just think to the person who is at the accident scene, taking pictures and sending out posts, because you see, we want to talk to that person. We want to say, and putting it out into the world, knowing very well this thing just happened. And you are being extremely insensitive. Would you like them to receive the news about you in that way? And the answer to that is no. So we have to, I think, just understand that there's a certain decorum that comes with just not putting out lesola motoela because it's within our culture. So I decide no, because we have the technology and we are just going to spread this news. Come on.
I was watching this guy, John Stewart, the guy who Trevor Noah. I guess now he's back doing his show. And I think it was one of his guys, for some reason we think everything that comes with an app is okay. Just because it's got an app, it's okay. I think they were giving an example of like an Uber Eats or something. So you're gonna give someone directions to your house, location, or even you're on a Bolt, and I don't know much about it. You're gonna give someone where you live. They know how long you're gone from your house, but you're gonna push all that away just because it's got an app. So we don't put any type of like human feel to Facebook or
Yeah.
would you like your family just because it's an app, it doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay, and I think there has to be just certain, protocols around certain things.
Yeah.
A lot of people just take these things very lightly and repost the hair.
Yeah.
Repost the hair. And
But
you
that's gonna
can't.
get
There's
arrested,
certain
like,
things that you just can't post.
And some people are going to get sued. I didn't mean to have us digress that much, man. Rest in peace to you, Mapetla. I mean, I met him a long time ago. If you want to have a look at our conversations back on our podcast about 6 months ago, you can realize, Honor, he was a very, very private guy who kept himself. I was one of at least a few people who he actually considered a friend. It was nice to hear him say that he considers me a friend on the pod as well, because, a lot of people think I ain't shit.
Okay.
But
I'm not one of them.
I know. But, like sometimes, I don't get invited to weddings and shit. And I'm like, yo, I thought we were boys.
I thought we were cool like that.
But to have Tato say, I think Tato is one of, is one of the few people that I let him in on purpose.
I confide in him.
I'm tinkle in my eye.
No, but I actually haven't watched that episode. So I'm gonna go back to it and
check it out.
I'm actually glad you got to do that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to start with where you were born and raised, because your accent, man.
What's wrong with my accent?
Yeah, you're a flash man, right? Because
I'm
you
a
got
guy
like a
that was
lot of
raised in
them.
in a small town, and I'm right. I get to let's go Orapa.
In the mine or outside Orapa?
What thing am mine? Orapa Hospital.
Okay.
My father was a miner.
Hey.
Brando Keabilwe, and my mom Violet Keabilwe. They worked Orapa.
Okay.
The old man was a miner. Mom was, chief cook. Go staff messy. That's why I'm like this. All my sisters can cook.
Yeah.
Myself included. Yeah. So I grew up in a small town. I'm an Orapa boy. Grew up very well.
Yeah.
I can't complain. Got to the benefit of the diamond.
Yeah.
Because when you're living in that enclosure, Joaneng, Orapa mine, you get all the amenities. You grow up swimming, playing cricket, rugby, riding horses, swimming.
Because I was almost jealous of you guys. A lot of the time, because even the rappers who came out of Orapa, we're always on some
thing.
Blind. So is that where the music and all of that stuff came? I mean, like the schools that you went to.
Yeah.
How did you get in touch with your musical side and your talents?
I went to Livingston House. From Livingston House, then I was Orapa CJSS. Then I went to Letlakan. And during that Letlakan period, that's when I met Mike Proctor.
Okay.
And Mike Proctor was, working on mining at the time.
Yeah.
So Mike had this thing where
how old is Mike?
Don't even make me say that. You're not supposed to relieve a brother's age.
How is Mike working and you are...
I'm still in school.
That's what I'm saying. How old is that?
I met Mike when I was 17, 18, right there. So he kept us busy, because Mike had this thing where he was coming from Francistown and he had been very involved with the social scene as a DJ. I like to move it. That was when the song came out, and Mike and them were doing all of that. So there was a Ghetto Flavor before our Ghetto Flavor.
Okay.
So Mike moved Ghetto Flavor, the concept, to Orapa. After school, you go there, you learn how to perform. You book QBO and Henry and Mr. Tag. We're doing the whole thing, the Michael Jackson thing, where Latsena as the Jacksons, while
you're moving too fast, homie. Because at the same
I'm just
time,
saying, I don't know how much time we have.
No,
I got a lot.
No, you're not Unity down.
I want to go Cap Williams on these dudes. I'm trying to unpack. I'm trying to get to the good stuff.
We're gonna keep you here for way longer. Because I want to figure out okay. So are you hanging with these guys at the beginning? Do you guys know each other because you have talents? Were they also living in Orapa? Because I thought Bukubio were raised Orapa, their mom.
The mom is late now. And
rest in peace, old lady.
Rest in peace, old lady. We all linked up there because we were, guys living in the same town. And essentially, sort of Mike would just put out auditions and guys came through. But you know, it's in a small town. You obviously know.
Eh.
He listens to a lot of what's that group? Onyx.
Onyx.
Kibio used to listen. He used to listen to a lot of Onyx, and then that's how we sort of came together.
You gravitated to each other.
We gravitated to each other, and then Mike formed the clique, and the rest is history.
You gotta give me more. Because I'm trying to figure out what type of homie was Mike. Because in this day and age, if there's a brother trying to get you kids to his crib to come and make some music.
He's on some Diddy shit.
He's on some Diddy shit. So back then, I mean, even me, when I started doing music, there was a brother who lived down the street from our crib. You know, DJ, a telephone thing. He had a PA system. And that's how I started rapping a little bit. So, and then Mike, what was it about him? Sound. Because I've seen a picture of Mike. So he started out as a DJ.
He started out as a DJ. He started out as a DJ and then gravitated to be a music producer. And then he started sort of realizing that he can actually invest in talent. So he was literally taking Zaka from Spani, But because in the Orapa, we used to perform Gadi overall. And we'll be there by the Gospa or the Orapa Cafe, just performing outside and just getting the stage. He would teach you just manage your nerves. Learn to perform for a crowd.
What was the scene?
So with Mike, it was just a passion thing.
What was the scene? What was he trying to achieve? Was it just entertainment, more mining outside the mine? What do you think the goal is looking back? What do you think Mike was trying to achieve?
Mike was trying to achieve what you see us doing now. I mean, I think for him it was always about, look, let's do this thing. There's money in music.
I'm trying to say, what was his vision? Like, when you think about it, because you're the closest to him. Apart from all these other homies, apart from BK, you're the closest person I've ever seen next to Mike. So I'm trying to figure out what motivation maybe not a Capricorn.
No, I mean, look, I think Mike knew, because Karakuri, you see, there was a frenzy. There was the whole crisscross thing. This is some of the time I make this, jump. That was when we were like Vanilla Ice, we were MC hammering. So there was a culture around all of that. And you look at New Edition, you look at Boys to Men. So guys knew that we needed to do this because there was nothing, right? And then we started performing. We would actually literally go Geto, go Pikwe, with other promoters, and we would literally make money. There was a time where we did the Black Label tour, and there wasn't a lot of money then, but he knew, look, you have to do it such that you become a reputable group in the future, and you can actually have a career as an entertainer. So it's about having a vision. And that's the thing about Mike. Even the clothing label, there was Flavor Wear back in the day.
I remember Flavor Wear.
There was Flavor Wear back in the day because these guys, I don't know where he got the vision from or the epiphany to sort of say, guys, you need to do these things now. Because as you build the brands in the future, you can actually make equity out of them.
Was he like a traveling man or something?
He was a traveling man. He went to Leeds, UK, so he came with that, outlook.
I think that's always what it is. When he thinks, because he sees the talent.
And look, Mike is a visionary. If you look at everything that Mike has done, these are things that when you think about it, a lot of Botswana just can't get their head around. He was the first Botswana to produce his own condoms.
I remember.
Right? He's done that twice. And guys sort of frustrated him rounding. Now he's moved to SA and he's doing extremely well. He set up Tswana Gas. He set up, a whole lot of companies rounding. So he's a starter. He will start it. He will get it done. Because, he has those principles. Definitely. So he's instilled a lot of that in myself, in BK, in everybody. So he's a principle guy.
Definitely.
We grew up, Renwadi Cream Soda. There was none of that. He teaches you respect. To respect your parents, respect your women. A man must smell good. Broody.
Always groomed.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen of shape.
So he was like Big Brother. He was like Big Brother. He was my brother's keeper. He was a mentor.
Definitely.
And he was, for me, the brother that I think I've always wanted. Lady Braza, gents, but Mike is my brother. And even my actual brothers know. That, if you want Brando to do anything, talk to Mike. If he's being difficult, Mike is the one person that can actually get through to him, because he is the voice that I listen to sort of say, hey, I've seen this guy go through, to the ends of the world for me. He didn't have to do that, right? So there's always that person who is the magic behind the person. But he has always had good intentions.
Definitely.
Right. And he's largely part and parcel of the reason why I think I've turned out the way that I have in life. If I had gone any other way, I would have been a problem.
I want to talk about your biological siblings, but my people.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you already. I want to get into your biological, not really biological, but like your home, your family. How would you describe your family setup?
My family setup is, it's pretty straightforward. I've got, my brothers and my sisters, and then I've got, sort of these people that have now become my family, like the Proctors. I consider them family. And then there's the Khosis that I also consider very close family.
How are they? Like for those who, because what about how unless you're uncomfortable, like breaking it down.
No, it's not that I'm uncomfortable. I just think that it's one of those things where you then become sort of the adopted brother within that setup. But I've got my own family. You see what I'm saying? And we move like that. We move
as a
like
unit,
that.
More
As a unit.
I love that.
And it's largely because it's largely because of the same thing that I'm talking about, where Mike then has such a profound, impact on me, right? And then you grow up with the Khosis within the same segment, but you've got your Keabilwe family, so I'm very blessed. And then I have just embraced it. I haven't sort of said, no, you're my brother. And we move like brothers.
Definitely. No, I know that for sure.
George Proctor is my brother. BK Proctor is my brother.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? Chris Khosi is my brother. And Gloria Khosi is my sister.
Definitely.
Daisy is my sister. Daisy Batusi is my sister. Samantha, Monica.
Definitely.
So if you want to be part of my family, you just got to apply. The forms. Go pick up a form.
Take the thing. I absolutely love that. Because you are heavily talented. What talents did the other homies possess that got them into the group?
Like what?
Because you are singing, you're dancing.
I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm Ciscoing, I'm Michael Jacksoning, I'm James Brown.
What was AK doing? What was Keabilwe doing? I never got a chance to see you guys perform.
AK Cube was on that Ice Cube thing. Because that's where I think his nemesis, the guy that really sort of did it for him was, Ice Cube. And that's where AK Cube came from. Cubio was heavily influenced by Busta Rhymes. That's why he was rapping so fast. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So he was a Busta kind of guy. He listened to those Onyx guys. And I was more of an everybody guy. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Mparanyane. I was influenced by just, Otis Redding. So my thing is I absorb a lot in terms of, like, I will take from there, and I make me, right? So the aspect of being dynamic is MC Hammer will be jamming. I'm like, I need some Hammer pants, right? And then I'm learning Michael Jackson moves. Cisco comes in with a new dance. We're doing the dragon dance, thong, 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 thong. I'm old, y'all.
Guys don't remember it.
They don't forgot. Yeah, so.
Okay, so it didn't affect your education? Like all of this stuff? I mean, you guys are...
It did. I'm not even going to lie. It did.
Did you manage to survive high school?
I flunked out heavy. I flunked out heavy because...
Tell us, Mrana, how heavy...
Because...
we're older.
Heavy,
you got a BM key?
No, heavy...
Tell us.
Heavy in the sense that it was a scenario where I was so creatively driven that I was very clear with what I wanted to do in life.
Sort of F this.
Yeah. So even when I went to my parents after I flunked out from 5, I said to them, look, I didn't write the exams. And my parents were like, why? I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to do radio. I want to do this. I want to do that. So my parents said to me, just as long as you don't come to us for money, and if you think you can make this thing work, go ahead with it. So it also was compounded by the fact that I was last born in Godladling. So I think my father at one point in time, I've got a brother called Phineas, who was excellent with playing the guitar. My father smashed his guitar and just, prevented him from pursuing the music career. So I think the old man was also a little bit, conflicted about that. Because when now you're old and you see where the trends are moving and you learn what, hey, the musician need to I think he felt bad about that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want an academic thing. I didn't want to follow. I didn't want to go to university. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just want to do creative.
I think music. I think they were always scared also. I don't want that to happen to my son. It's like maybe they've seen a friend or something and they get traumatized. Or I don't want my child
to end up like that. Yeah. So with me, I think the path was very clear. The path was very clear in terms of what I wanted to do. From a very young age, I knew that radio was something I wanted to do. I knew acting was what I wanted to do. I knew music was what I wanted to do. And I just had the thing for it.
Yeah.
It was so strong that you couldn't ignore it.
Because at this time, I mean, when did you guys release your first album? It was in 97.
I think it was like 96.
96.
Yeah.
So you guys were a 4-man group at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's you, Tag. You don't speak much on Tag. I see that. What's going on?
I was with Tag just the other day.
That's not what I said. I said this whole story. I've been moving.
Yeah, no, but
this is a 4-man group, and you haven't said much about Tag.
No, but Tag was
it
my
because
boy.
was there?
I think
is that why the group broke up? Was it because you both were singing?
I think Tag came on a little bit later on because it was sort of me, QBO and AK, and then Tag came on.
Tag was he from
Tag was also in Orapa.
All right.
So we were all just Orapa kids.
So you guys hadn't released the music until Tag got into the thing. You guys were just doing performances. Were you doing original performances of music that you were going to record, or was it music by Longore? You were singing music about
it was doing cover versions. I got 5 on it. You know that instrument. Yeah, we would take those instrumentals.
That's about weed?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, or the nigga, let's go half on a sack.
I didn't even know that. I was like 16 singing about weed. I didn't know that.
Let's go get a dime, my nigga.
Oh my goodness, we need to check these lyrics. It's on come on, Bobby, let's go party.
Oh Lord.
Parents, y'all need to check the lyrics to that song. Nasty.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we used to perform cover versions.
Yeah.
And then at a later stage, then that's when we decided that we'll do an album. We actually recorded that album in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Because Mike had this little Vitara, and then, we'd all just drop the top. And it was really cool. And we went out there and recorded the Mr. Chocolate thing.
So how long, were you guys out there, and were the songs written first before you left? Who did the production? Who did you guys link up with when you got
Mike did a lot of the production. There was another guy called Tenderai. I think it was called Tenderai or Tonderai or Tendi something.
Tondi.
Yeah. He was the sound engineer in Zimbabwe, and I got a chance to sit and do a little bit of just watch him work. And then I think he sort of sparked the whole sound engineering thing in me too, because I would just watch him work, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So we recorded the Mr. Chocolate album in Zim, and Mike did most of the production. So we just write. We make the beats, and then the QBO sits in his corner, I sit in my corner, and we just write lyrics.
Mr. Chocolate, you need to make you a guy. Was a bit younger.
Mr. Chocolate dropped when we were in LSS. I remember it was all of us. We were huddled around the radio.
You guys grew up in high school.
Yeah, we were huddled around the radio in the government boarding school bunk beds.
Yeah.
Man, Shakes the Mix dropped that song. The whole hostel, it was pandemonium. And that was it.
You were gone.
Because I couldn't sing to save my life, so I couldn't sing back then, and that was before auto-tune. So so Mr. Chocolate dropped, and that was it.
Ooh.
Shakes the Mix did a number for us. He really put us on, because he was the first guy to literally play the song on the radio.
And Shakes did a lot for urban youth music then.
Yeah.
It was him. I mean,
he did a lot for the youth.
For all of us. I mean, look at my dad would put on Rap Blast on Fridays. And I don't know if some of them need to Rohana, but Shakes will still be playing them. So shout out Shakes the Mix, man.
Yeah, that was before Bakra knew what they needed to do.
Regulate.
So we got away with a lot.
A lot of shit, man. So I'm really trying to get to why the group broke up, because Ignition then popped up. Who went where? Was it after the blow? Did you guys, the tour money? How was it being a group with music out?
You know what it was? It was a scenario where we did the Black Label tour, le OP. OP back in the day did the Black Label tour.
Olivier Picanta.
Yeah, and the last show I remember, go National Stadium. So I think after all of that, the guys looked at that and they thought, money's being made, right? And Mike was like, there's no money, gentlemen. There's no money, right?
There's no money.
There's no money. And I think he also got just a little bit frustrated because then, AK and QBO then got Olady involved, and it was like, this guy is exploiting you, and Mike is like looking at these guys like, gents, with everything that I've done for you, the sacrifices that I make, come on, we are not even there yet. What money? So then these guys were like, no, we are going to branch off and do our own thing.
Ignition.
Yeah, and that's when Mike was like, yeah, all right, it's cool, it's whatever. If that's what you guys want to do, then you can go. I can't stop you from going. So then after the group broke up, I went and did The Last Dance, which was the last album Ghetto Flavor did. And we flew to Chicago. We went stateside at the time, and I was done with school, so we went to America, Atlanta, Chicago, and I got there and we just recorded the album. Mike was there still working on production, but now it was Ghetto Flavor Maragili one. And Tag was, because you keep asking about Tag. Tag also, said, all right, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Yeah. So everybody went their separate ways.
I don't know why I thought it might have been a beef between you and Tag, because because you guys are singers.
Nah.
So you were thinking, it was like some crooner shit.
No.
He went that whole way by himself.
It was more AK. It was more AK sort of saying, little brother, let's go.
But Big Homie's still stubborn, right?
No, he's still the same way. Big Homie's still the same way. But you know what? He's also Big Brother, and he has his own thing, and it's cool. It's
definitely.
cool. It's cool because he felt like he was looking out for Cuba, and he felt like, you know what, we should be making more money now. We should be seeing money now. But if you know anything about that time, that was like Nagozabo tribal monks.
Yeah.
There was really no money.
I remember. This is one of my fondest memories ever. I think it was like 98 now. You guys hadn't gone. I don't know if you've gone to the States yet, or you guys had come back now. You were recording Olimogo on a Ghetto Flavor. And, was Greg Lisiba ever in Ghetto Flavor?
Yeah, there was a time where Greg, that was before the group, well, that was actually after the group broke up, because there was projects that we did in between.
Is that where you got to meet Cast as well?
Yeah, because then that's when Greg got into the group as a dancer. And we did a couple of albums, and I think Eric Ramco distributed one of them, which actually did quite well. Yeah. We did 1 or 2 songs with Solo B, so yeah. So man, you're taking me way back. I'm like the museum right now.
I was right there. Nigga, I was walking around following you guys everywhere because Cast was part of the group. That's one of the biggest moments.
Cast got a chance to be part of that.
In our young lives.
Yeah.
So we're chilling, man. We're writing these rhymes. The only time you can hear the rhymes is if you play so we'll just play music off his radio and you recite the rhymes you wrote all week. I don't know why these niggas didn't take this shit seriously like I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be writing those rhymes every week and then we'll rap them. This nigga came back one day and he told us what he's a part of Ghetto Flavor.
Cast.
Yeah. Nigga, we've made it. I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
And then I remember we went to a gig. I took my dad's VHS.
Yeah.
VHS.
Yeah, because we used to have the VHS cameras, the big ones.
I remember being right next to the stage, Brando. And I think now you're heavily influenced. Oh, sorry. Hey, Mike. So remove when I get my
Yeah.
I think you were at that point you were very heavily influenced by Cisco.
Yeah.
And there was a. Is that okay? Oh, okay.
Yo, Mike tripping.
Trying to. Are we good?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Are we good?
We walked all the way to Village to go and see the gig.
Yeah.
Because I think Cast was part of the entourage and he was performing. And then someone tried to grab your legs.
At the stadium.
It was at Village, I think. I had it on VHS, dog.
Are you for real?
I think I have to go look for that shit.
Because I
No.
No, I remember performing at the National Stadium in a white suit, and somebody tried to grab my leg. That's when I was like, yo, I'm out here doing my Michael Jackson thing. You need to step.
But you were playing it too close to the edge, though. You know, did you think Batswana understood what was going on? Because you went hard. Every time we saw you on stage, cast the hard, he has to go for rehearsals. We're like, yo, you gotta go now, nigga.
Yeah.
You went hard. What was that motivation? Like, what were you thinking was gonna happen at the end? Because, like I say, the reality about what was happening in the Botswana music industry then, and how hard you were going, the white suits, the red
hats,
suits,
because I had
the
this
hat, the gloves that went like this,
yeah,
like all of that shit.
Well, look, I mean, that was just, part and parcel of I think the things that,
Dare I say it? Yeah. ATI before ATI.
Well.
Dare I say it, my nigga?
Yeah, well,
No, dare I say it?
I tell a lot of people I'm so happy when I see ATI because I'm like, you know what? This is what I was hoping is going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
I get such a high when I listen to Hansi, ATI, all these guys doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's payday for me. But anyway,
no doubt,
back then it was just stuff that I think fueled my creativity. Yeah. Like I keep saying, it's about where you draw your inspiration from, and you use those elements.
Yeah.
It's because that's what happens with artists.
Yeah.
It's the dress code, it's the culture, it's the lingo, it's the environment. That's why we sort of have idols. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
It's not like we are retarded. No, Raberi. Tapping into our artistry, essentially. So if wearing a glove makes you break dance better, you'll do your shabadu items better. It's cool. You look at like even ATI with his teardrop. If it helps you with his the dark teardrop, If it helps you, get in touch with the artist,
that guy,
then you do it.
Yeah.
Right. And it brings out the music that you guys hear. So sometimes it's about artistic expression. It's about your influence, and it just speaks to the artist that you are. That's why ballerinas dress the way they do.
Yeah.
Right? That's why, rock artists dress the way they do. Because Remaroko.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why hip-hop artists like, yo, I'm so fresh, I'm blinging right now. Don't touch me. Yeah.
Because I was really...
My kicks, yeah.
I was really motivated by that. And like the Henseys of this world, like the ATIs of this world, you were very secluded.
Yes, I was a very secluded artist, and I think I've always kept to myself. I'm a very introverted person, but when you put me on a stage, I perform.
That is the craziest thing ever as well, because
it's on and off. Yeah. So when you see me in the shopping mall, I'm just Brando, Tsepo, Keabilwe, Wanagama, Violet Keabilwe. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Throw me on a stage, I then become the performer. So this is what I have learned all my life. And funny enough, there was also another person that was very influential in how I turned out, and just to take you way back. And that was even before sort of like Mike. There was my sister had a husband called Stig Mukwena. And Stig would literally take us out into the lawn, Orapa, and actually make us dance, and do sequences.
One, two, three, four,
6, 7, 8. And he would listen to like Bokwini, I wanna break free. So we when other kids were playing, we were out there. Right?
So 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, let's go. So we would literally do that. And from a young age, then I had that, right? I had that in me. So Nerira the talent show, Honalebo, Teboro, Maribeng, Turbo, bass to bass. And he was another person that taught me how to break dance. I would go to his house, and he had a Tempest, stereo, singer cassette there. It takes two to make a thing go right. So he'd play some rock bass, and I would break dance. I would learn how to do the moves. So he taught me that. He's also late now. Rest in peace, my brother.
Rest in peace.
So I am a product of all of that. And then, Mike Proctor then comes along, right? Mike Proctor then now teaches me how to write music, how to sing, and teaches me how to sort of listen to Boys to Men and learn. Right? And even now, I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
You know what it is.
I know what it is.
It's a never-ending process.
What it is, because I know exactly what you're speaking about. You pick up the lesson for yourself, because there's no one there to tell you, this is what it is. So are you a spiritual person then? Because I can't believe none of this would exist without some GOD or what. Because there's no curriculum.
Can I be honest? I hated Sunday school.
Yeah.
Mom is Roman Catholic. We grew up in the Roman Catholic Church. I couldn't stand Sunday school, but I love my mom, so I would always go for my mom. And then I get to learn that, you know, there's like a whole lot of stuff happening in the Catholic Church. And I'm like, you see, mother? You see? But I think my connection with spirituality actually happened at a late stage in my life, where I was going through very difficult times, right? Like very, very difficult times. And I just felt very depleted, like my spirit is gone. Yeah. And funny enough, the person that really helped me gravitate through a lot of things was T.D. Jakes. Okay. I read a lot of T.D. Jakes. I listened to a lot of T.D. Jakes sermons. And they helped me go through a lot. That's why this current stuff that's happening with him.
You want to be swallowed.
I am so conflicted. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to still read this man's books because, you know, I couldn't have made it to half of the stuff that I went through, you know. So, So I became very spiritual at a later stage in my life.
Spiritual how? Do you believe there is a God who and has a son called Jesus who died for your sins?
No.
So how is your connection with spirituality?
I believe there's a higher power. And I believe that we are, you know, spiritual beings. So I believe in the God that has created all of this, right? But I don't necessarily believe in that story. I'm not a very staunch.
So you don't praise, like you don't. I'm trying to figure out how you connect with it because some people connect with it with a blunt. You know, some, that's, man, some connect with it with some prayer, some connect with it, or are you about karma? You do right by your niggas, you expect them to do right by you,
I'm
you balance the universe out.
I'm spiritual from that aspect. I'm spiritual from a universe.
Look at me open
standpoint.
a window for you to jump out of.
Thank you for throwing me that bone. I am spiritual in that sense.
I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the guy that...
It also is okay, that one.
Yeah, I'm the guy that gravitates through life believing that you have to do good by others. Yeah. And you have to give out good energy because the world will respond.
Definitely.
So that's my spirituality. I am generally a good guy and I like being a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go around, you know, just being horrible for no reason.
Definitely.
So my spirituality is there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
How do you guys end up doing the first Motswako song with Nomadic? Because I'm here. I believe that is the first Motswako song I ever heard. Yeah. That was the first time I ever heard a nigga rap in Setswana.
Yes.
But that was before, well, that was after the advert that he had done for DJ Sid. Or was it before?
I know that the Nomadic collaboration...
Malala Sui, I guess the name of the song.
Malala Sui. Yeah. The Nomadic, you know, collaboration...
Before Jabba.
Happened...
Before anyone. Yeah. That's the first one.
It happened because I think he did that promo and then he was trending for that time. So we knew there was this kid who was hot.
Rapping in Setswana. No one had ever heard anyone
No one had ever
that.
done that. Yeah, and I think Mike at the time reached out to him and then we ended up doing the collaboration. But Malala Sui was recorded called Solo B.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it was always Mud Hut at the time, but he worked on that.
Okay.
You know, but guys were not impressed because I think they think we butchered the song. But we're like, but it's
what is it? Is it an old song kind of thing? Yeah.
It's a folk song. It's on a lebo right. So when we do things in our creative way, where it's like, yeah, but we're not trying to recreate the song. We're just borrowing elements because that's what hip hop culture is.
You were Ezra Nithlings before Ezra Nithlings.
Thank you. Please tell them. And I'm trying to get Ezra into the studio now. Dude, can we do a song?
I'm getting goose pimples right now. Yeah. This nigga is the motherfucking OG.
Thank you very much.
All right?
I will take that.
I don't know if a lot of people know. Before anyone was doing any of it,
but you know why?
It was cool.
Do you know why?
Brando was doing it.
Do you know why I started singing Batswana?
Yeah.
So, Hagelego States, I perform. Yeah. So George books a couple of spots for me to perform. George Proctor. Yeah. And then the Batswana students, the Baba Nembalokobo DJ Mo, they fly in from Washington. Yeah, they fly in.
And they do that now still.
Yeah, to come and support.
Yeah.
So when I get on stage, I perform, and then after the performance, one guy from Ghana, a friend of George, says to me, I thought that you are from Africa.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He said, but you are singing like R. Kelly.
Tang.
And I'm like, yeah, but where the African music? That's when I realized, oh, okay. So when you go to America, America doesn't want to hear another Chris Brown. They're not interested because he's here.
Yeah.
And you can't do Chris Brown like Chris Brown is Chris Brown.
From his neighborhood.
Yeah. And that's where the Nigerians have won, right?
Yeah.
They have been original with what they've put out. So I came back home, and we get Mapula, Kidibonyi, all of these songs that were some of my best pieces of production with George Proctor and Mike. We sat down and we just wrote these really cool songs to sort of say, you know, we must sing Batswana, right?
You know,
and that's where it started.
You know what's crazy about Mapula? Why is it not playlisted on the radio stations?
I don't even know. I need to go find that song and put it online.
You know, I know
maybe
it,
that's on me because a lot of that music is not online. Yeah. I will drink to that. I will drink to that. You see, this is why he's my nigga. This is my ninja. Mapula, Yarona. Tell me we were not ahead of our time.
Nigga.
Please, Mama, let this man be the one to speak at my funeral because these are the people that know me.
That shit. Like,
others, they must just eat and go.
No, they don't know. A lot of people are just eat and go.
Eat and go.
And a lot of it is just that I think we don't remember that, and and it's I don't know who to we come. I don't want to walk around blaming people that we don't document our own history. But like, what is the disconnect? Why do you think that? If someone is going to say they're going to play a flashback track on radio, I'm moving forward a little bit. They're going to play a Metolo. They're going to play a Zeus Imagination.
Yeah.
Because I know there's someone who had lost the hard drive, Yarona FM.
Back in the day. It wasn't me.
I know.
It wasn't
but
me.
Why do you think they
accuse me of a lot of things I did there, but I didn't lose that hard drive.
I heard Mary J. Blige playing on RB1 earlier today. They seem to be able to find those ones.
Yeah.
So what is the disconnect? Why do you think we keep some of our history? Or is it us?
But I think, you know what? A lot of that music is still there. Go RB1, RB2. They have one of the biggest libraries ever. I don't know because I guess they took RB2 and turned it into like DIS headquarters where they should have kept it as a museum of culture. But I think a lot of our music is there. But you're actually alluding to something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music from back in the day that needs to be resurrected from, you know, Third Mind, from everything that we were doing there, Ghetto Flavor. All of that music. Yeah. Where is it?
Where is it?
Yeah. I think it's on us to just, you know, revisit that and sort of start saying, cool, let's dig up this music because this was way before apps. I get it.
And right now, look on at least because like
an appreciation of why you're such a big deal.
But Josie America sample Beyonce is I think is about to sing Jolene.
Yeah, she's on her way.
Because Dolly Parton doesn't just show up and start saying, you know,
I would love it if
Beyonce can sing it. It's like, we're not kids.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. So if Beyonce can sing Jolene, what's stopping Hensi from at least sampling something that Mapula? But like, how can I born? And the disconnecting is between generations in Botswana. As someone who's also observant, why can't we have the next generation feeding the next generation feeding the next generation? Why is it in Botswana? I asked this question and it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Why is it that the new generation always wants to replace everything that came before them and then they don't want to learn anything from it?
Look, I'm suffering from that right now because I call a lot of these new artists and I say to them, guys, I want to collaborate with you. I'd love to do a song with you.
It's because they don't know.
No, but I think a lot of them do know. I think the misconception is that they think blow.
Cloud.
Yes.
There's a word they use,
no, gentlemen,
cloud chasing.
I'm done. Right now, I've got the song that I think will be just perfect because now you've got two generations on a track and it's just going to be magical.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of them tend to think you're trying to tap into their social media numbers or something. So that's where the disconnect is, where somebody doesn't realize that, look, dude, I'm not trying to prove anything anymore. I am like Joe Thomas, Donald Jones. Yeah. And I'm saying, let's combine what you have with and let's create some magic.
And I think it's because A lot of some of those songs that are still being written, like R&B is making a comeback right now.
Yeah.
Because you have Bonobo Tenke, Lebon, and some of these other guys.
They're still very relevant.
Yeah. I'm going to pose it to you because I'm excited to get have you ever tried to collaborate with a producer and maybe do bass tracks? Like, you write something and then you have a guide track and maybe try to shop it to people. I know it's not the easiest thing to do because you don't, it takes up time. But like, have you ever collaborated with a producer enough to say, let's design songs that we can then maybe present to these young cats? Because I'm about to send it to WhatsApp.
Yeah. Look, I've done a lot of music with KD Bangers, who's a Botswana-based Zambian producer, very talented guy. I've got music with Names, Muji Westimole, and I've recently just done some tracks with Kaiser, which are very Afro-tech, and I'm loving it because it's really aligned with what the likes of Black Coffee are doing.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of music that is there, right? But Majita Lebona, I think, in their own sort of pursuit with their own careers, are holding on to this music, right? So they are literally sitting. Yeah, and that's why I will move from KD and then I'm with Names and then I'm with like Kaiser, because now I'm progressing. Now I want to put the music out because there's no time.
There's no time.
I don't have the luxury to sort of say, I'll do it next year. So I'm constantly recording. Like even now, I literally think I have got well over 40, 50 songs that just need to come out.
Are you inspired to bring them out though?
I am.
But since you're still doing other things right now, and I guess that they're not top of mind.
I'm actually inspired to do it because I saw you drop the video the other day.
There was three of me in the video.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm so glad somebody from my era is still doing that.
Sir.
Because this is what we need to be doing.
Definitely.
Because you see, I think for us, as much as people expect you to be at a certain point in your life where you're looking at this thing like it's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
I'm music. I am entertainment.
Yeah.
Ska is hip hop.
Yeah.
So you're not all of a sudden going to now be a farmer. You understand?
There's 3 cattle dead from the States already. It's bad.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, not to say that you can't go into farming. But what defines you more is at the core of you.
Yes, sir.
You are hip hop culture in this country.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to be the driving force. It'll always stay with you.
I think that's the problem. When you get better at something, for some reason you expect it to let it go and start something else. That
resonates with what people think you should be doing. So the cool thing is now we've figured out how to get some equity out of the brands. So what we're doing now is we're just literally saying, okay, Brando, you've done all of these things. Let's monetize them and build brands that you can now, create, legacy brands out of it, right?
Yeah.
If it's the music, figure it out how your children will be able to benefit from that in the future. If it's fashion, let's do that. If it's, whatever, let's get into that and create brands that others can inherit.
Definitely.
Because otherwise you just die with the music.
And no one wants to stay in the studio and then the music doesn't come out. And I think that's the lesson for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I think that happened when the studios became too many. And everyone now felt that they couldn't record their own music. But at the same time, when you have so much music in the studio and you don't learn how to then market it and distribute it, end up. I want to get into how then you got into radio.
Yeah.
Madia music in Nasatsini. Why did you go into radio?
I went into.
Or was it nepotism?
Once again, no. Once again, Mike Proctor.
Yeah.
Right. So Mike Proctor gets called to work on the Yarona FM project. And ordinarily we then move from Orapa.
That's how you moved into Gabs?
Yeah. And then we went and lived, Block 5, Lebo, Obrika Diwa, and Mark Isaacs accommodated us. We were sleeping like on a sleeper couch there, Block 5. And that's us in Gabs. So when the Yarona FM project started, African Mall, Mike is frequenting that place. So I tag along with Mike. And then one day, Majita Baleba Duba Daka, I was again Jets, Argili Caesar. So Duba Daka. So what do you Daka? Shwaku studio? No, I can only born Duba Daka.
Yeah.
The South African guys come, they're rigging up the studios, what. ra go grandpa mra o pega antana. Yeah, says, hey, Booty, let me travel with you.
Yeah.
So we vale majita, hey, Brando, you want to come along?
I want to.
Then we go. Ke na le majita vale ba go pega antana ra Gibbs FM. I mean, there's literal pictures of me like on the roof. So I'm watching, I'm learning. So these guys are rigging up the antenna, they're doing everything. There's jokes. They're telling me, yeah, man, this thing is going to be great, man. You know, Brando in South Africa, there's like 100 radio stations. What? I'm listening, I'm watching. After that, they go into the studios, the mixing desks, they are connecting the radio softwares. I can't even remember Audio Vault. I think
Audio
is what we were
Vault.
doing
Audio Vault.
at the
That's
time.
what I was going to call my first radio show, by the way.
Are you for real? You could do another one.
Never.
and then batsanga di cool lady to go to studio and le bona ke shebile. So all this time I'm just absorbing.
Yeah.
And that's how eventually I had already had at one point in time Orapa imagined myself on radio.
Had you been at sound engineering school yet?
No, I'd not had any sound engineering experience then. So I was just fresh from like just watching. And then these guys set up the radio station and and then the presenter at the time. So Mr. Mike is like, chief. Guys
Can't just be sitting in the house.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So I think Bolu's boy at the time were there and everybody. We are going on air. But talk. Ooh, I'm gonna talk. So that was it. And that's just how it all started.
God
right?
damn, B.
That's how it all started. But then you then sit with the guy who's loading the music. You're like, okay, so load the music. This is how you make you label the files. Yeah, don't talk about it. The studio. The studio.
Ask about it.
The studio.
That infamous studio.
Yeah, where we are loading the music and everybody.
Loading people to yeah.
So I just sort of just was there, and then I just said, hey, here's an opportunity to learn rock. Because where are you gonna learn radio at that time?
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was no curriculum. There was nothing. There was no school you could go to.
And if you're gonna get into RB1 or RB2, you had to get in a certain way.
Yeah.
There was no way. And I think it was because also the hype that was being built by what Mike was doing in the room, music.
Yeah.
Because kind of for some of us, what Yarona FM was like this frequency.
Yeah.
That just plays music.
That plays music for a long time, man.
I want to know what was happening in that room because I'm sure you have some insights.
Nah, there was nothing happening in that room, man.
What kind of room?
It was just music.
Just a room playing music for the whole city. A lot of us.
But there were CDs, so they were loading music in the data. I can know a lot of music goes on to my computer. So around they are playing music and loading it into that software. So there were stacks and stacks of CDs and Botuni Prextene.
Yeah.
Loading all that. Wow.
So ultimately then you become one of the on-air talents in there.
Yeah.
Were you paid when you started? What were you
I can't remember if I was paid when I started, but I think there was money back then. Yeah, they about my 1.800 something.
So how much did the BM or standard of living is changing here?
No, that was when the radio station had
gone bigger.
Yeah, and
how long did you stay in that radio station before you left to go?
I was there for a while. I can't remember, but I remember I was there for quite a while because I left. Focus on Makhabaneng because. Remember when the Makhabaneng's project started, once again, it was me, Mike Proctor, with the Butusa team, starting that project.
Yeah.
So we just always would move together. And now I was just the young guy who was just learning.
Was it the studio behind Vista?
Yeah, Ko Village.
Ko Village.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I become the production manager, Ko Makhabaneng. But I actually worked Koma Khabaneng and was working also at Yarona FM. So at one point I had a double salary. That was when I was really, really nice. Things were very nice.
Very nice.
But when I left Yarona, it was, where one day I just walked in, I found a letter. I read the letter.
The toxicity was in.
Yeah, and then the letter said, you are no longer a member of this radio station according to clause which I had not read the clause. I said, okay. If that's the situation, then I'm gonna go back home.
Did they fire you?
So that's the story. So that's the story that I left the radio station saying I'm going to buy a cigarette.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't even smoke.
I know that.
I've never smoked
That's
a day
when
in
I
my
knew they were
life.
fronting.
So I left because I was also ticked off.
Was it before or after Mike had left?
It was after Mike had left. Because what Mike usually does, Mike just comes in and does what he needs to do. He'll set it up and then he'll leave.
Because I'm trying to see if there was any animosity because Mike was not there anymore.
No.
And then it trickled down to you or
No. One of the managers tried to borrow my salary.
Ow, man.
And then the guy says to me, no, I can't go makhabanenda 8,000 eda.
Oh, na bereka lo ena dale.
So nkadime 5,000. Hora na batla o duela ne BMW. Nkadime 5,000. I'm like, nah, you're a whole entire manager. I can't do that. So the following day when I came, I found a firing squad. They fired me. And then because I had another job,
You were safe.
I just walked out. I left Giselle and I walked out.
Now that we speak about it.
Yeah.
Because you guys were the first couple that I'd ever seen.
Yes,
in
first celebrity
BW.
couple.
Yeah, so I mean, she spoke a little bit about it. She was here, blushing
man.
and all of that. You guys were beautiful.
We were a beautiful couple. Radio love. It was so sweet. Giselle's mama loved me. I loved
man.
Giselle. Giselle loved me.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be your baby daddy. I always meet the daughter. I meet Giselle's daughter and I'm like, you know I'm supposed to be your daddy.
So that's how it happened. That was it.
Yeah, no. Essentially, what happened was, you see, what had happened was, she, we dated for a while. It was really cool, right? Yes. And just like any other relationship, ordinarily, she then, I think at a time, felt she had found somebody better.
Yeah.
So she went and dated this guy.
Yeah.
Susan, and it breaks my heart because Isuzu. L-E something. Yeah, so and it really broke my heart. Because imagine you found the perfect girl, La Vibe, from the grandmother to the mother
to the sis.
They all love me. Kana nere ha go tsholwa di plate.
Ow,
go te e ya ga Brando ye. Ya na maetona le ka ska la tsholela Brando molala wa kuku isim Brando. That's how in I was. It was so nice. So it was heartbreaking breaking up with Giselle because you get what I'm saying.
I get
and
it.
at that age.
No,
so the relationship ends because she's met this guy, and then I don't know if he ended up being baby daddy, but that was hard. And I can imagine where he break nothing. It was just like I found another guy. He drives in his suits.
But when I'm me, Brando, because like you're a sober dude. I've heard
used
about
to
you
be.
niggas. No, not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah.
But like you used to be like the sober dude, and we've heard about sober dudes. They're freaks.
Hell yeah, I'm a biggest freak. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna go Cat Williams.
Yeah, so you weren't out here breaking.
I am the biggest
hearts.
freak ever, huh?
You weren't breaking hearts. You don't think, or maybe she felt like, yo, fuck it, like.
No. I don't necessarily think it was. I mean, we actually haven't really spoke about it, but I know that we broke up because she was now going with another guy. It wasn't because I was unfaithful or any of that.
Yeah.
And I think she can corroborate that. It
Definitely.
wasn't like I was cheating on her. We had a contentious relationship. We were real sweet.
Definitely.
It was the bomb.
You ultimately do get married in a very, very I mean, you go to other radio
Jesus
stations.
is Lord.
No, we're going there. I gotta go there now because
I need another bottle.
No,
because that's why I started
take
drinking.
this one, Father. You'll take this one.
Yeah.
You did go to Gabs FM, right?
Yeah, I did Gabs FM. It was cool.
After you left Yarona FM.
Yeah.
Is that where you got married?
I loved radio so much. I just wanted to be on radio. At one point, I was like the radio hoe. I was like Gabs FM. I've never do my FM, but I actually even tried to go and work there. That's how much I love radio. So
but
anyway,
your demeanor did change when you got on Gabs FM. Like you became
well, you have to, because when you get on Gabs FM, it's adult contemporary.
Yeah.
So they say to you, "Hey, boss, you can't be
on the top.
jizz machine. Yeah, you gotta be relaxed." So anyway, I am on Gabs FM, and that's where I met my wife, who's now my ex-wife, the mother to my babies. She came for an interview, And at the time, she was working at Stanbic. So I met her on radio. I was interviewing her. And I see
I like how you smile when you're talking.
Man, because I'm trying to go back there. So I see this hottie. I mean, she's looking like Pocahontas. She's dripping. I can smell the ocean from her hair. I'm sitting on the other side of the desk.
Oh.
So she's talking, ne?
Yeah.
Wabu maraguti sepe. I can't hear a single word she's saying. I'm just captivated. So after the interview, I'm like, thank you for coming. That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a single word this woman has said, because all the time I'm just like, what a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And then when she leaves, I do the usual thing where I go off on a tangent and I'm like, yo, ladies and gentlemen, I have just met the most incredible woman on the show and I'm going to play her this song. Public announcement, I think it's Mamacita. Mamacita. Yeah. That one. So I play her Mamacita. And I think her friends call her. They're like, yo, the dude on the radio is losing his mind. Their brother on the radio is losing his mind. And then she later calls me back. She's like, I heard you played me a song. And that's...
Nigga, you knew she was going to listen on the... Oh, shit.
Yeah. Are we good?
All right. And I keep touching it because like the Patty out here, Patty where I give a dog a bone.
And that's how, we then hooked up with her.
But you knew she was going to hear it on the radio.
Of course, it was
because
deliberate.
She's gonna listen on the.
It was
on the
deliberate.
radio.
You got to Mac with the airwaves, man. You got to. If you've done radio for so long, you got to use radio to your advantage. So I sent a shout out to her on the radio, and I kept going her like a good 10 minutes about how she just smells so good. She's the finest thing I have ever seen. I am ready to die because I've seen an angel. So. Yeah, so we end up going out. We have lunch and we link up, and I get to know her. She gets to know me.
Yeah, and
then we link up, and then after that we're at her place. I'm like over there now. I'm like at her place, and then she makes me a cup of coffee first thing in the morning.
You, my nigga.
Mind you, I'm like 28, 29. I
can't believe it.
And I love coffee, by the way. So I wake up.
No, that's
in
not
the morning. So
out of all of that, I didn't hear anything about coffee.
But let me tell you something.
Okay.
So I wake up in the morning to this aroma of the perfect cup of coffee.
Oh yeah.
This is day 1. Day 2, she does it again. Day 3, she does it again. And I'm in a house with a woman. Her linen is done. Her grass is cut. The toast is roasting. I mean, the pool is clean. I'm like. 3rd day, cup of coffee. 4th day, double cup. On the 7th day, that went on the 7th day. On the 7th day, that she made me the perfect cup of coffee. I said, I'm going to marry this woman. I tell the same story to my kids. I told my boys when I was, doing the school runs, I said, I married your mom because she made me the perfect cup of coffee 7 days in a row.
My nigga.
That was it. Because you see, for me, it's in the small things.
Yeah.
And then we hook up, and, the babies happen, and then, and then it's I'm going to just wrap it up for y'all. We hook up, the baby happens, and then she's like, well, we can't bring no baby in the world without no ring.
No doubt.
And I'm like, woo-hoo.
Respectable young woman, that one. Yeah.
And I'm like, but hold up. I got this UN job. These niggas just sent me an email to sort of say South Sudan. So that's when the
South Sudan thing happened.
United Nations
But that's also a story on its own because I'm trying to figure out.
It's a whole different story on its own.
Yo.
But you see, because I was at Gabs FM, remember?
Yeah.
I meet, my wife to be, and then we hook up. And then, she'd be like, I'm trying to have babies. Oh, you trying to have babies? Well, let us talk. I'm like, okay. So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I am just on a go.
Yeah.
I've thrown all caution to the wind.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, if there was ever a time I believed in God, it was then.
This is now.
So I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
We're having this baby, and she's like, you know what? It's not going to work. I'm a Christian girl. I've been raised with certain principles. It's not going to happen like this. We got to get married.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I got to go. She's like, well, we got to do it before you go. The pressure. So we do it, right? We get married, and mind you, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, Scar, because the first time I went to my, ex-wife's house, or my wife at the time, was when I was going to ask for her hand in marriage.
In marriage, yeah.
And yo, State House is it out?
Oh,
So I'm now getting the full gist of who I'm married.
you're with.
I'm like, okay, so this is who you is. you know,
You roll
it's
deep.
like this.
Yes, sis.
And I'm just, I'm me.
Yeah.
I am still the same guy I was back then.
At
I am
29,
29.
also, but like, hey, man.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
So anyway, we boom.
Is she
bam.
older than you though? Like
She was.
How many years older?
At the time, I think I was 29.
Nigga, it's not gonna change. How older is she than you?
I was 29. I think she was 33 at the time. 33, 34. I can't remember.
It's 34.
I've been drinking. Yeah. So
You very bad boy.
so we get into it, and the wedding happens. I go into it with all the jitters, but then Mike talks to me. He's like, "Yo, dude, man up.
Yeah.
You got a baby on the way. This is it. This is what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
Man up. You've got a good job coming, so that's cool. We nice.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking in the city that you're trying to marry this girl because they got money. I was like, I didn't even know they had money.
Nigga, it passed by here too.
You see what I'm saying? So Mike says to me, but it's cool. You go get your money. These, I see this is like 12,000, this is, 12,000 euros. You're going to get your money. So you'll be all right. Yeah. So I go, so that's essentially how it happened. And then immediately after the wedding, I ship off. So I'm going to the South Sudanese
How
project.
soon after the wedding?
My guy, like 2 months later after the wedding.
Yes,
and baby's on the way. So
baby still hasn't come yet.
Baby still hasn't come yet. So I was similar spot. And the premise was, no, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. I'll manage. You're going to do this job. I got this.
Yeah.
Because you're there 3 months and then you come for a treat. And then you're home a month. So when the job started, it was kind of cool because I would do 3 months out in South Sudan and then I would come home for a month. We would travel, book Cape Town, vineyards. It was nice. Yeah. That happened for a year. And then the problems started because now she was getting closer to the date. And I'm like, no, it's cool. And it changes along the way, right? So it started creating a lot of contention where also she felt like I'm doing all of this. Where are you, African? And I'm like, I'm out here. We spoke about this, right?
How many months in is this now?
This is a good, when the baby's about to come.
Yeah.
This is
Like
8 months right down to it. We're starting to have problems now.
And you've only been around once since you had gone for the employment.
Yeah. So she's losing her mind.
Negro.
I'm trying to hold on to the money.
Yeah,
right? Because I've worked all my life to try to get to where I am. So it became a contentious situation where she is justified in her need for me to be there.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to hold on to but I've got a baby on the way. We're starting a family. I think I need this. And at that time, I had also acquired some property by the Seklua. So I'm like, I've also got this plot I want to build so that by the time I come home, we've got another property and I can then relax.
Yeah.
Then it just starts going downhill from there. It starts going downhill because now the need for me to be home becomes even more. So it puts a strain on the marriage from the beginning.
So do you come back to fix it or do you wait out the contract and say, no, I'm not going to move from this money?
I waited out the contract.
How long was this contract? It was 2 years, huh?
Okay. It was 2 years.
You stayed away for 2 years, Mdara.
Yeah. It was 2 years. And then when it was 2 years. So the following year, I think that's when she filed. She's like, nigga, I'm going to leave you. Because then what had happened was, because it's third world Africa, when my son was due, I was supposed to get on a flight. Because you fly from South Sudan to the north to get out of Sudan.
Yeah.
So I flew South Sudan to Khartoum.
Yeah.
So when I'm in Khartoum, the flight that was supposed to go to Kenya, so that I can come from Kenya to Joburg, gets cancelled. And then that night she delivers. So I'm stuck in Khartoum. So my baby was born when I was in Khartoum, Brian, my first son. And I think that's that's what broke the camel's back. Right. So I arrived the following day.
You couldn't leave earlier, B.
My nigga, I couldn't. I tried to talk to those Arabs.
No. I'm warning you. You're deflecting. Because like I'm saying, like if she's that pissed off, this means what she felt, or maybe you could have done something.
I know.
Hey.
There's always that, which is like, I think the whole thing was just that, look, you are, even that's what the family was saying.
Yeah, that's
the family was saying he's more in love with this job than he is with you, you know?
Yeah.
So that, I think that's what really broke the camel's back.
Sheesh.
So I arrived the following day to find a different woman. You know, like when I got to the hospital, I was like, my marriage is
it's over.
It's done. It's done. Because this for her was where it's like, if this man does not show up.
That was the moment right there.
So
Jesus
that's when
Christ,
it really happened for her.
So what? How many babies do you guys have now?
I've got 2 kids.
With her?
Yeah.
How
Someone
does
I gotta go
that
to
work? You divorced after the first baby. How do you get a second baby?
Hold up. You see, I'm the kind of man that if I say I want to do something, like I got married not to divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce was never something that I had envisioned for myself.
Yeah.
So had she not filed, I would still be with her because I would
her.
have stuck it out. But she just felt that it was crap and I just wasn't good enough for her. So I tried to work out, you know, sort of to say, look, let's make peace.
Yeah.
We've got a baby, let's raise the baby and let's enjoy our child. So we made amends for lebakanyana.
Yeah.
And then I managed to sort of stay in the marriage.
Yeah.
But we are on rocky water. So we had our second born still in that atmosphere. I want out. Because this is just not for me.
Even after you stopped working in Sudan?
I was in Sudan for 4 years, boss. Because then after 2 years, those guys were like, sign again. So then I signed.
You wanted the man.
Yeah, but I stayed for a long time and because I refused to sign the divorce papers. Okay. You can't want to get married this badly and then want to divorce me this badly. We're married. Just let me do this thing.
Yeah.
I'll come home. You need to go somewhere in the world. I'll stay with the boys.
What marriage were you trying to have, though? Like, this is... I think, well, not girls. Women think about it differently.
I know.
So
now in retrospect, I realize I think I was very cavalier about it. I saw a woman that really wanted to settle down, and I took that because I never get into anything with somebody that really doesn't want to get into it. Do you understand? That's a mechanism that I use. And I saw a woman that really wanted to have a family. I was like, I'm safe here. So I always tell people I married well. But I think my level of, when I should have given or made the sacrifice on my end was what cost me the marriage. Yeah. Right?
I feel you.
I say to people, I don't think my ex-wife was wrong to have wanted everything that she had wanted from me. I also, in most cases, feel very justified in sort of just standing my ground to say, look, I need to work. I need to do this thing because I don't want to come home and be miserable. Accord me the opportunity to do this thing. It's important to me that I should do this thing.
And be able to earn, man.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where she was right, I was right? And could we not find a compromise along the way? We could have.
I can never say. Because some of these things anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened. And the complexities of marriage is that sometimes you can have all the right elements.
Yeah.
And my marriage didn't end on infidelity. There was no abuse. It was just an issue of, dude, I need you here. Give up what you're doing and come here. And I didn't want to do that.
And how many of us would?
Yeah.
How many of us would?
Do I regret?
No, I'm asking these niggas.
Yeah.
How many of us would? Opportunity and why is
Yeah.
South Sudan.
You have to come back to Botswana money. So for me it was also an issue of scar. I was in a bit of a predicament in the sense that I had said to myself, my expectation is that my wife must support me. My wife's expectation is that my husband must support me, especially at this, very crucial point in our life. So I just generally think at that time, could we have done things better? We could have.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why is it easy for some niggas to be okay to be taken care of and some niggas just think, yo, I'm not that nigga?
And I'm not that nigga.
Clearly.
Yeah, I can't deal
Because
with it.
Oh, baby, please.
Because that's what was being thrown at me. I was
But
given
why was she throwing it at you?
Yeah,
Why did she think
I
it
was
was
being
okay?
given examples of house husbands. I'm like, never in my life have I imagined being a house husband. I can't. Yeah, I can't. Right? And some of these friends of hers had diplomatic what posts.
Hey.
So the wife has an allowance which the husband gets. So it's a salary. So the guy can afford to stay home and drink beers and watch rugby the whole day. Me, I couldn't. And I was in such a good space. I just needed the woman to sort of support me. But she was like,
No. Yeah, that's a rock and hard place.
It was. And then I started drinking when I was in South Sudan. I went straight from cream soda to Jim Beam.
I want to know a little bit about. Is the mic okay, Papa? Just check. I just want to ask about South Sudan itself. Is it a place you'd move to? Do you think the average Botswana how would they feel living in South Sudan? An average Botswana who grew up in Gabs.
Yeah. No, South Sudan is not for the faint-hearted. It's tough.
Because it was a new country when you went there.
It's a new country. There's no running water. There's no toilets. There's nothing.
No,
because we were in the UN camp. So the UN has a water plant. They provide you with these porta containers. There's showers. There's a cafeteria. They ship, they ship in food from Uganda. So we were okay. But the rest of the South Sudanese were just living in dirt poor, conditions. But it was such a satisfying job because for the first time in my life, and you know what it is for us radio guys, you always think that your success is going to be like, you're going to be a hotshot DJ like DJ Fresh there in Joburg getting endorsements. No, mine came from a humanitarian perspective. Yeah. And I think to a large extent I manifested it in one way or another because I'd always wanted to do that. Yeah. So when it was granted to me where the universe said, here. Yeah. I then said, okay, this is my calling. This is my time. This is the one thing that I'm going to do where I can feel so useful to the world. Yeah, because I was there, go South Sudan. I did Miss South Sudan. I was hosting beauty pageants, teaching those very tall ladies how to walk.
But what was our impact as Botswana on South Sudan? Because I know a lot of the people used to come here for benchmarking, ministers, even when the government was popping up, we used to have different people come through here. So did we do some good things there?
I really wish we had more of a role to play because, the South Sudanese have such a positive outlook of us as Africans. They generally just don't trust Kenyans and other Africans, but they had so much trust in what Botswana has done.
But you know why Kenya is small? Because there's surrounded. Is it Islamic? South Sudan. Muslim.
It's predominantly Christian. The north is predominantly Islamic, but you find that they have such a positive outlook of what Botswana is, and when you say you're from Botswana, they just light up. We've heard so many good things about your country. Because even with me, people were like, but you're from Botswana, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here to teach people RCS and to rock. I am here to... This guy doesn't know how to bend a CD, this guy. So I was out there just doing the most.
Wow, man.
We could have played a more bigger role, but the opportunity still exists. It's still there for us to go and have an impact more the South Sudanese, because you know what, they believe in, and the kind of country that I think we've set up for ourselves where everything works is what they want for themselves.
Do you think we're that though? I mean, I'm gonna put you right there.
We are that. Go there and you
think Botswana still is the country where things work? Because a lot of people, I mean, I remember back in the day I was interviewing Who was it, man? It was a lady. She was pretty big. I think in Beleme. Oh, God, dog.
The name is gone. Yeah.
She used to be the AG. Mamolokume.
Okay.
I think I interviewed her and she talked about putting stocks aside for years and whatever. And then I because
Yeah.
you could easily put investments in and things would actually be,
Work.
things would happen. What do you think about this Botswana right now? Because we are in an election year and we'd like to know from everyone else who, who's an analyst like us as well.
Yeah.
Do you think Botswana is that, whatever the people in South Sudan still think it is?
No, I think to a large extent we are still, the shining example of what a functioning country should be.
Yeah.
Scar, and we must never at any point in time sort of take away from all the accomplishments that we've done.
Yeah.
As much as you and I and the man on the street generally feels what we've regressed or we could have done better, there's always that where we could have, because of everything that we've managed to accomplish, we should still be further than where we are. But I don't think that we should for 1 minute look at ourselves and think, we are not what we used to be. I genuinely believe it's entirely up to us.
Yeah.
Up to guys like you and I to sort of say, okay, what is my role? What am I doing to make sure that as much as I see because Batswana man that thing where sometimes you see certain things and you think, who is going to do this?
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to fix Miss Botswana? You must step up.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to fix football?
Yeah.
Step up. Yeah. Enter.
Yeah. Stop saying people should. Yeah.
I am the guy who sort of says, okay, cool, we are in this situation, so how do we move forward? Because why do we want to dwell so much on the negative and on the what is not working? Why? Why do we do that? Because it's not going to get us anywhere. Otherwise, you just live your entire life complaining and constantly just upset about the state of things. It is entirely up to each and every one of us to change it.
Yeah.
Whether it's by a vote, whether it's by volunteerism, whether it's by getting together in a school and saying, Baruta Banaba School is Arkopaning, Rire Social Club, where we can improve the results. Good, it's entirely up to us. And where you take it to your government to sort of say, we are trying to push the results up. Our government and our member of parliament is not supporting. So don't bring this guy back. Good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make some shit happen, yeah.
Botswana need to be unified, to change and sort of get reform going. This complaining thing doesn't work. It will never get us anywhere. It will never. Because you will complain until you die.
Yeah.
No one
is doing anything.
But guys must just beat the drum.
I'm going to move you away from
politics.
The
political opinions expressed on this show.
I want to move back to Yarona FM. You were part of a tag team with Robbie Rob on Yarona FM, which was a really, really dope show.
Yeah. Feel Good Foundation was...
How did you guys come together to do that show? And... how was that working experience and how did it break apart?
Robbie calls me and says, yo, B, we got to get back on the radio. I've got this crazy idea. So Robin comes up with the idea.
I think it went like this. We're about to fire Scar. Can you guys come here and do this show?
If he had that information, he did not share that with me.
And I was like, bad boy.
He did not share that with me. No.
I'm playing.
So Robin calls me. He's like, "Yo, B, I've got this crazy idea, my guy. We gotta," because it was during a time where people were very depressed. The city was very depressing.
Yeah.
So he says, "Okay, cool. Let's just get on air and do this show, Feel Good Foundation." So I'm like, "All right, cool." And then we agree that he's gonna drive. I'll be co-pilot, and that's essentially how the Feel Good Foundation started.
How do you agree to be co-pilot? Because you've always been Cisco. And Beyonce.
You know what? In all honesty, it was a deal that he was going to strike with Bodumi and his friends.
Okay, so he was going to be the one to propose.
Yeah, because they're his boys.
I like that though.
Yeah, so I just let him go with it.
Okay.
I'm never really the guy who needs to fight for the limelight. I don't generally believe in that. I'll come in, Sky, and say, look, this is what I can do, and then that's what I do.
Yeah.
I will never try and bite more than I can chew.
Definitely.
I'm not that guy.
And that's how you stay around, man.
Yeah.
It's like you need to know your role enough so you can get better at it.
And also you excel.
Yeah.
You know, you do stuff because you are confident in your ability to deliver.
To deliver that.
Right? So now how similar we read they are out of your zone. It's like, no, unless if you want to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to push yourself.
Definitely.
But in a situation like where you and I say we're going to team up on something, I'm like, yo, but Scar, you're better driving. Drive.
Do this one,
Yeah, now I'll tell you 10 left, 10 right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pothole. Yeah.
We're navigating, but we're getting there together.
But we're getting there together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I move on to your how did it all fall apart?
It fell apart.
And I'm on some real
The first fall apart, I think, was the Bonang issue.
What happened
Where,
with
where
Bonang?
we made an issue about the Yamas bringing in Bonang and paying her like 100-something thousand. And then these guys were like, F you guys, this is our money. We can do what we want to do with it. We'll have whoever.
Weren't you in the same building?
We were in the same building, but we were
The
saying to
meetings
them,
usually happen maybe, I think the Yama meetings I've seen happen usually happen around 9:30.
and we had
And then Majita are usually in the studio. You're usually in the studio.
Yeah.
And then the little committee comes through about 9:30 and whatever, and then they go to the boardroom.
Yeah.
You didn't see them niggas come through while they decided to do 150. And then you got on air and said what?
No, we didn't even get on. I don't even think we got on air. We
Oh, you
just
didn't
went
get on
to
air?
we went to talk to them about it, and then it was a whole thing where we just said, you know what, it doesn't make sense. We have nothing against Bonang. I love
150K.
Bonang, by the way. Yeah, I don't know how much they paid her, but we were just for the view that there are Banaba Banyana Badi presentara in the station that could use this money.
Yeah.
Halas Amadi Lebatza, Hongabali 2, 3, Lenalo 30, 40, whatever.
Yeah.
They can hold down that show, right?
Yeah.
How are we ever going to create Bobonang if we can't empower them economically? Was our, argument.
Yeah.
We think she's doing well enough with Revlon and others.
Yeah.
That she doesn't need to come and then scoop a paycheck that could go to a Leboa or a Gidi or whoever, right? And that was, I think, the first crime. And then guys just felt like, these ones, they think that's
But is it crime against who? I think sometimes, because these are individuals we know within the Yarona FM board. I don't know who's still there that we know or I know. Who usually are these people who are, from your observation? Because like, when how now about who are usually these people that then stop this progress for empowering young people within the institution, and these people who clearly are against employee retention?
I don't know.
Because it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
How somebody you can go?
There's this very strange thing that happens with Yarona, because Yarona will invest in a talent. They will, like I'm saying, I was the guy who was, putting bricks in the first building.
Yeah.
I come from inception with this radio station.
Yeah.
But you invest so much in me, and then at one point in time when you're supposed to now really benefit, you just drop me like a bad
Not even
habit.
just drop me. You want to make me look like I ain't shit.
Yeah, like I'm just not, I don't measure up.
This is why we fired him.
Yeah.
Type stuff. And that's what always just
like
irks
you want
me.
to taint
What you build.
what you build, right? Because to a large extent, we wouldn't be where we are if we were not on that platform.
So what is that? According from you laid a brick, dog.
I've tried to think about it, because even when I left, like even with my last show,
Because like I said before,
Yeah.
like, I never said that Yarona FM was homophobic when Lunga was here.
Yeah.
There are employees there, who have their own, gender preferences and whatever,
Yeah.
whatever pronouns that they want to be called. So we never meant to call them homophobic on this program. And on top of that, to anyone who ever felt like we were out there trying to attack them, people are telling that version of events.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that it's policy within the institution. It's not a disclaimer. I'm just saying I've had conversations with some big homies who have vested interest within the organization, I think. And we're not saying that people are like that, but these individuals who have been enabled by them to do this shit.
yeah.
So I think that's what we're trying to address.
Yeah, we know y'all ain't homophobic. Y'all gay all day. We know y'all gay. Y'all down with the gays. It's okay. You can paint the whole building gay. We know.
Yeah. So that's all
But
I'm
anyway,
saying.
yeah. No, I think you know what I think generally happens is that then there's this boys club management style, which ultimately then means that some of the decisions that are made are purely on emotion. And not the biggest contention that I have with Yarona.
I really want to hear your version of this shit. Like,
is how they have very little regard for their listeners. I think it's such an abusive relationship that they have with their listeners. Because when you think about even where you got dropped or I got dropped or Bozizi got dropped or whoever, it's usually at the height of your show, where the show is like peaking. The numbers are good. You're making money. The listenership is great.
Yeah.
The return listener, you have now religious listenership, right? And then they'll just cut it and put something else, which in most cases is not you. Completely like this. So it's bizarre. I've never really understood that. It just feels like guys just make random decisions where somebody wakes up and like, you know what, it's time to get rid of Scar. It's time to get rid of Brando.
You know what they say in the movies? Follow the man. Babon.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that. A lot of it has to do with advertiser money. And the biggest rot in the station is in the sales office.
You reckon?
Yes, sir.
That the sales office is influencing a lot of the decisions about what's happening on air. But
But in South Africa, you have a situation where the talent, then because of how they earn, dictates who is able to finesse that talent well enough to make it earn more for what's going on.
If that was the premise of the decisions that they make, then it would mean that you would still be on air because your show was making money. Yeah. My show was making money.
But then we take it to another personal stuff. Who has been manning the sales office all these years?
I think you need to bring Yarona FM on this.
No.
Show.
I mean, if
they need to come and explain
the sales office
this bizarre management style of just not retaining quality talent.
I just think you can't retain an office for over 20 years without being complacent, especially an ever-changing environment like sales.
Yeah,
you can't be a sales manager for 20 years at a youth radio station. And I'm not saying that he's the reason or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm saying a lot of it is that, you know what I mean? Well, you want me to mention names? Niggas will sue.
No,
man.
but the thing is with that particular individual, it'll be strange because he's a guy I've never had issues with.
Yeah, I didn't have issues with him until I had issues with him.
Yeah,
to a point where
I was rocking, boss. I was at the prime of my radio.
But that's when he loves
career.
it. That's when he loves it. It's always about I don't talk to presenters. Nah, give me the presenter. That attitude from a nigga who gets so much commission from people's talent, to a point where this nigga, and we're not doing this.
Yeah,
right?
but look, me what you're saying is the root of the problem. Then he is essentially costing that radio station, something that money can't buy.
Yeah, probably he gave them some money. I heard he gave him some funds.
It's a bit strange.
Or loaned them funds.
Look. If a lot of people ask me now, what happened with your morning show? Why are you off radio? I'm like, I don't even know.
So I'll tell you about my arguments were always based on that. A lot of these friendships, including with what happened with me and Bui. Yeah. She's tight with homie. Yeah. And it's also because there was an argument. I remember I was inside an office with Easy and with Kelly. And that nigga was on the speakerphone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm making all of these threats about me, and he's talking about, hey, I don't talk to presenters. And that attitude alone is what pissed me off, because you're getting advertising based on my prominence and what I do on air. So what the fuck you mean you don't talk to presenters, nigga?
Yeah.
And then he starts screaming on the phone. That's when I scream back. That's when I leave the office. Easy stands at the door, tries to block me from walking away from a conversation. And that's when I said I was going to break his knees. And then that's when all of this shit escalates more and more.
Oh, you said you're going to break his knees. That's what Mike Tyson said. I'm going to break your knees and eat your children.
But when I said that, I didn't mean I was going to break his knees. Yeah. But I was like, just get out of my way. Do you know? And then when I said that, all of my shit went going downhill.
Yeah.
Because I'd raised my voice against this Lord who doesn't speak, with presenters.
I don't know. I because you see, we are just sort of left speculating.
I know it was him.
And then I get to the point where I'm just like, but it's their radio station. If they want to make those crazy, unpredictable, risky decisions, let them do that.
Yeah.
But but from our perspective, Scar, I just think these guys have really done a great injustice to the listener.
Yes, sir.
I think they've hurt the brand in a way that it didn't need to be hurt.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? Because we have gone from, through it all with these guys.
Yes,
and
sir.
I get not to say that we felt like, we were never going to leave Yarona FM, but I just think it's the how you do it.
I think at this point in time, and I heard it on, I think it was that Cat Williams interview, because all podcasters were trying to be that.
I try to leave their,
No, you didn't.
I try to leave their version. That's why I left.
It's like, it's
gotta go
you
Cat
have
on, no,
to
I'm
at
just
least-
kidding.
You have to be at least, realizing that it's a new day, and that a lot of truth is coming out.
Yeah.
In that you don't need a certain. We don't need their platforms. You understand? We could use them, but you don't need anyone's platform. You could get on your Facebook account right now, and you're a published author.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they've forced us there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Everyone, it's not about a certain radio station.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, no one can stop you from telling your truth right now, Brando.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to tell us your version of events as far as, we can't do it in 2 hours?
No, I know. I mean, look, with my dismissal, it was just bizarre. Because Bo resigns, right? And she's like, you know what, I've had it with you guys, and this, I don't want to be here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she resigns. And then, Owen comes in and says, guys, I'm now the manager. This is the plan.
Wait a minute. There's a second version.
There's a second version of this show.
Now, after I go,
Yeah.
how did they pitch this to you? Or, okay, let's work with you. We're not working with Tato anymore. Or did they even bring me up?
No, they didn't. Look, they didn't. I didn't even know why your show ended. They just sort of said to me,
Millie does.
yeah. You know how that second show happened? The second show happened, I called Dumi. I said, Dumi, yo, it's COVID. I need a check.
Yeah.
So Dumi's like, yeah, well, we've actually got a slot. You can do the morning show.
Shout out Mr. Dumi, though.
So that's how that show happened. And then, remember you and I had that conversation where you're like, yo, B, what's up? I'm like, yo, Scott, you dropped the check. I just came to pick it up. My nigga, it's not personal.
You know why we have that conversation? It's
Yeah.
because of Gloria also.
Yeah.
And your bros also.
Yeah.
Because
So we cleared that out because I was like, nah, it's not about you, my nigga. I'm just trying to, buy some masks and some sanitizer. I'm not trying to die right now. I'm just. So I went back and they gave me a check and I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that show.
Yeah.
So we do that show with Bo.
I've forgotten about that shit.
Yes. So then Bo says, you know what, I'm done. And then she resigns and then
Nah, you're lying, B. Stop.
No, I'm serious.
She just said, I'm quitting.
Obviously, after a whole host of
How was it working with Winelo?
you see, for me, yeah, I'm gonna be straight with you. I work well with everybody.
Yeah.
I work well with everybody because I knew that you guys had you had a situation and you had your issues, but I was very clear, Scar. I said, look, I don't want to get involved because I never want to be the guy who now has to choose sides, especially because I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to now start saying, Sky is my boy, Bo is my girl.
Yeah.
Now, no, I don't want to do that.
I want to ask about working together on a daily. Because you said, you're going to keep it real here. Because I'm trying to tell people, how difficult it is to co-host on a radio show.
Yeah.
And if we're not vibing, I got it spiritually, but, we have to learn how to get past it so that we do these 4 hours.
My guy, for us, it worked.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I think you guys had your fair share of contention. But for me, I made it work. She made it. It worked.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it
you were
worked
able to do your
until
job.
she had issues with the station, and it was almost like they were trying to get rid of her, and she was just not having it. She was like, "Nah, I will resign," and then she resigned. So now I worked with Bo. There was never issues. I'm an easy guy to work with. That's the thing, and I make an effort.
No, you're a good brother.
I'm an effort. I make an effort. Yeah.
I'm playing that shit no
I'm
more.
making- I know you. I know
I'm
you.
not playing that shit anymore
Yeah.
because I know people are out here whiling, trying to make it difficult for niggas to at least just get a check
Yeah.
without all of these threats, You don't
No, I
have
made
to
it
know
work.
the owner for you to be able to do a successful job.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to like give out to like a lot of these young creatives. It's like they think you can walk in through the door, and just because you know the owner, you don't have to do the job.
You have to actually put in work.
And and good looking women. I don't like that energy because our entertainment industry is very, very small.
Yeah.
And I would really like it to grow, but it's another story for another day. Miss Botswana.
Yeah.
You're one of the early ones to like at least try to reach out and help. You know, how did you get involved with Miss Botswana? Because you guys did the one in Iloko Pikwe.
We did the one in Iloko Pikwe, and then I did the one that brought in Lesego Chombo right now. Because then Ben Ralitzazi, from the Palesa Molefe reign, says, B, I'm no longer working with this team. I need a new team. So I need you to come and manage this situation for me. So Ben reaches out and I'm like, all right, cool. I see you're in a bit of a storm here. Because there was that whole debacle about the dress and it was quite no store.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I can come in, Ben, and I can work this for you.
Yeah.
So we put together a team, Lebo Tsepi S, Balamoteng, there's a lady called Neo, and a couple of other people.
Yeah.
A brilliant team who work tirelessly with no money to do this thing. So we come in, we do the PR, we sort of clean up and bury the dress story. We make sure that Palesa has a smooth transition out of the crown, so she leaves without her reputation in tatters. And then we usher in a new queen, so that's where I got involved. But my guy, it was tough.
Because I remember I was also skeptical also. Even before Palesa, when it was starting, like I remember you guys were out in Pikwe.
Yeah.
The Pikwe niggas were mad because they weren't getting a chance to perform. I got some Pikwe homies, man, about
Hey, what's up?
Put out some other guys were there fronting Baba Kids, but I know Ben, no. So when I saw Rebel Ralitati on there, I was like, yo, this is a nigga who loves a challenge.
Yeah.
So to see you guys be able to like kiss Palesa. Now here's Lesego.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to people about how they, took you guys in, and what you'd like to see them do as far as helping these pageants, and what type of help they need in the first place?
Do you know the whole thing? Yeah, Miss Botswana, ne? Miss Botswana is a very difficult place to work. That much I won't lie to you.
Yeah, they fly. They all fly.
It's
I wouldn't be able to handle
No, it's not
that
even
shit.
that. Yeah, boss.
No, I would, baby. If we
It's not
go
even that,
together-
Scar. You know what it is? Just the behind the scenes, right? It's a pageant. It's a pageant that has gone through so much. It doesn't have. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. You're gonna sleep on the couch.
Whoa.
It doesn't have a lot of resource, and for a brand that has been in existence for that long.
Yeah.
I come in as managing director. These guys don't even have pull-up banners. There's nothing.
Yes, sir.
So I'm saying to these guys, but how do you build a pageant that doesn't have a car, doesn't have a printer? You see what I'm saying? So the biggest problem with this pageant is that every single time you are having to go to sponsors to say to them, I need this.
Every
year. Right?
We start with a similar proposal.
Yeah. So you're not investing in the actual, pageant.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest problems, because you see, reka kombi, so that logistics becomes easy.
Movement of
buy office equipment, buy cell phones, buy phone this. So there's nothing. So
whose fault is this? BCW? Who?
I don't necessarily think it's BCW. BCW owns Miss Botswana. They hand it over.
What the hell does that even mean, guys?
It's their pageant.
So why
it's
aren't
their
they giving,
thing.
so they then license
So
it?
they license it out to whoever comes and qualifies for the license for X amount of years. So these are the people that are supposed to
I
build.
don't even know you. I'm not like
So
out
these
here
are the people that
guessing.
are supposed to build the brand equity. So what happens is that Miss Botswana exists in a suitcase.
Be file.
Yeah. And that's where the problem is.
So if I have the file and I'm with you.
Yeah. Because that's when now you become a queen. You don't have a place to stay. You don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have that. So now then I realize, but you guys need to start putting money into sort of an apartment. No, me kana Miss Botswana was mama naha. So reka go change la furniture hela. This is actually owned by Miss Botswana. You see what I'm saying? But Kolo we've had this car for 5 years. Let's sell this car and buy another car. So the brand in itself doesn't have anything, or it doesn't exist. And this is one of the biggest problems that you guys have. You need to start buying resources for this thing. It must exist.
In the tangible.
Homecoming. But you get a whole combi and a homecoming here. My king, but you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm trying to say to these guys, but you need to build this thing from that. So it becomes a nightmare having to do this thing every year. And people,
Jesus.
you know, and this pageant, like you look at what Lesego Chombo is doing.
They're all up on her.
Everybody that has worked on this pageant has been through hell, Baba. But the payoff is when a girl, a queen, like Lesego Chombo does what she does, and she says, thank you, Brando, thank you, CPS, thank you, this thing. The payback is when you see them doing what they're doing. But we need to make it such that it's not as painful to get Banaba to go and perform on the world stage. That is all we need to do as a country. And I've tried to say to these guys, bring in a brand Botswana. How long you don't trust the guy you've given the license to. Give Brand Botswana a budget. Where Brand Botswana essentially because you see you've got country. You've got country at stake. It's our reputation. Botswana, right? The designers are not paid. The makeup artists are not paid. I owe this makeup artist because then you bring in your friends to come and put makeup for the girls. You see what I'm saying? So these are small things that a simple 2, 3, 4 million can alleviate. Bana ba ska ba thoka di gown, di makeup, miriri, di koloi, maroko, di flight. This is what a pageant should be.
You know what? Senism Paka Blind.
That's it.
Yeah, Senism Kabata Blind was that on the 43 million Pula crown, you know? And now you're saying we don't have enough money for Motora uncomfortably. Even during project I know Tsepi, Tsepi Solomon.
Yeah.
She used to be my manager. Yeah. That was one of the only managers that my mom knew, because like that girl worked her ass off.
She worked,
like she will make sure,
pregnant and all. Yeah, she worked.
Pregnant and all.
Yeah.
And then she had her nana while they were still doing the thing with Lesego. Yeah. So I knew then, something is about to pop off. Yeah. And then everyone then, by catching on. And it's crazy that companies would, brand placement. Lukara is going to put like 43 million pula worth of diamonds on her. Yeah. And you're telling me what I want to do operational budget.
I'm actually glad you've mentioned Lukara, because you see, right now, Lukara was one of the people that really saved the situation.
Definitely.
Even the time that we brought Miss World here. I remember on the day that Miss World was here, we needed 200,000.
Miss World is the one who crowned Lesego.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
Miss World came.
Yeah.
And on that particular day, we needed 200,000. And between me and Ben and everybody on the team, we didn't have that money. The CEO, Walukar, phone call. She's like, why didn't you guys come early? We're like, hey, proposal. She's like, but I haven't seen anything. She signed off 200K on that day. And she's the one person. Hey, so she is a woman that with other companies sort of shying away from the brand because it's not as attractive because of its past and all the stories. She has had faith in sort of saying, you know what, now I will put in so that this which is happening now can happen. So Lukara has been a big contributor to this thing.
I think Gena Makan.
Hey.
But like, I've just always wondered how does this get one tools? How a lot of operational money business. So
but
see us right now. We're all up in that girl's grill.
But let me just say this out. Even in Ben Ralizatsi's defense, I know he's a man who's taken a lot of heat.
Yeah.
But he has taken this thing on and literally put in money from his own pocket. So what happens is that Beno Tlaba airise madi a gagwe, right, to drive this thing, because there's not much resource and it's an expensive exercise. So what then happens is then he's also trying to balance life and this thing. And then he ends up having very contentious relationships with the team, where he can't afford to pay us. There's no money to do anything. And country is also just there. So what really needs to happen with this Miss Botswana thing, because what we see is that when we've got the gems. Clearly the gems are not a problem.
From everywhere.
From Palesa to Lesego Chombo, we have the girls.
We have all of.
Yes. Rona hela as lehatsi. Can we just sit and say, from a tourism perspective, from a diamond perspective, from a whatever, logistic perspective, Brand Botswana are talking this thing. Put money into this thing, because this is how you attract people to your country. So Rona will come in there very sacrificial with our work and the team and everybody else that works on this thing to just make it happen. But Linna, now like I keep telling you, I'm the guy who will come in and say, hey, Mr. Ben, I can take you from here to here, but the rest is up to you. Then you hand it over to the rest of the team, because it's teamwork, right? And you can't do everything. But look at what Lesego is doing.
I mean, I'm just looking at it, and
nobody has spared it. And let me say this: tell
not
them,
even me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bite my words. She's gonna bring that crown home.
Dog.
She's gonna win. Yeah, I'm calling it.
Why are these things so long?
Why? What is why?
These shows like this. I think she's been there 6 months.
It's
Why
Miss
is this so
World.
long?
It's Miss World, Baba. This is the world we are in. It's Miss World.
No, come on. But I really like the fact that, like, Leni, she's come into herself. You know what I mean? And I really, really respect that about her.
Yeah, I'm happy that she has excelled so well, because, you know, we have this thing where sometimes it's like we rule people out even before we give them a chance.
Yeah.
And she was a girl who was obviously coming in after the success of what Pale did, and Pale was excellent.
Yeah.
But then people sort of put her on a pedestal where it's like she's not going to be able to deliver.
Yeah.
She hasn't even done anything. So you throw her out before you have even seen. And I'm so glad what is happening. That girl is winning everything from... Hey.
Listen, my problem was that, like, I don't know what it was. Yeah. You know, there was a request to invite her on the show before she left, and I said no.
Why?
I'm sitting here trying to figure out why. I swear, I'm so.
But guess what? It's kind of cool. It's
no,
okay.
He wouldn't have
you're gonna be interviewing Miss World.
You know what?
You're gonna be interviewing Miss World. Scar knew that she's gonna win.
I'm looking at this nigga.
He was looking at the bigger picture.
If I had suggested her then, none of you guys would have said yes. But I did. Did I tell you, mommy? So what was it about us then? I mean, a lot of us need to sit down and figure out why Nerenyata Lesego Batswana. No, road. Like we all need to.
I think not that Nerenyata
Budi
Lesego. We had
was it the body, Brando? Me, I'm serious.
No.
Like, what was it? Was it what was it?
No, I think people just thought she wouldn't be able to do as well as Palesa did.
Oh, Palesa. Oh, we put her in
so it was sort of the euphoria that Pali created, where she was, you know, considered to be one of the best Miss Botswanas that was ever out there.
Watch your mouth.
What? I didn't watch my mouth.
Nah, no. Pale is okay. Like, she's not the best Miss Botswana we've ever had.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people had...
So that's what we think about ourselves.
There was this euphoria that Lesego is not going to be able to level up and live up to that. And
but
you haven't even given her a chance.
Do we think we're always going to have one Nigel? We're going to have one Litsi?
That's us. There'll never be another Litsi Letebo. And then because we think like that, we then don't put the resource.
Because
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this diamond mentality, Yarona, really chaba. We don't manufacture these diamonds. They're there. God has created them. Rona, we just take from the ground and polish. So even in the human resource, we want to treat it like that.
Nigga, this is a bar.
We want to treat the human resource like that.
Yo.
But when it comes to human beings, we must put in. We must put in.
You must invest in your people.
It's expensive to do this pageantry stuff. It's expensive to have a world-class athlete like Litsi. Like even now, gentlemen, can I just politicize?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
Speak on it.
And Litsile, we should be tapping even more into the fact that this chap is literally the fastest man in the world.
How is that?
He is literally the fastest guy.
And he likes to show, apparently. Well, Garagat.
What up, play? Yeah.
What up, play? About Nigel, because of the suspension now. People are talking really ill about Homie, about his living conditions. You know, I know street shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
in the streets.
Yeah, people are out here talking like, yo, he's lacking because he's not able to be actively in the sports. We know, come on, man, Homie made enough dough to be okay. But that's what's crazy about us is that, like, we build you up to tear you down.
To tear you down, yeah.
I don't know why we didn't learn that lesson with Amante. But, like, you can't do anything with Amante because Amante knows how to save her dough. Isaac has got his own stuff going on as well. I don't know.
But you see, this is where I think that we also, miss the plot, in the sense that we have realized that we can create world-class athletes. We have realized that we are top-notch in, competing when it comes to pageants on a world platform. Yes, since Mpule Kwela Hope, you see, there has to be sort of I don't know what's the word, but a plan whereby we have a plan as a country.
Who will do it? Has on the BCW. I go to the athletics because you've been close to the BCW. From your observation of the BCW, how can, apart from taking that license from them, what can we do?
I think
people
a conversation needs to happen between them and I think the powers that be.
Yeah.
It has to be one of those directives that comes from the top office to sort of say, guys, this thing, we could use this thing far much better than we're doing now.
Yeah.
So Ronarele from top office, we want to put resource into this thing.
Yeah.
But these are our set conditions. Because what then you have is a scenario where you've got BCW on the other hand, you've got the license holder, and you've got the country. And we are at the mercy of these two people for the reputation of our country and what happens with our queens, right? And then the country says, well, it's a BCW thing and whoever else they have given the license to figure it out. If these people don't figure it out, what happens is that we get embarrassed as a country.
Yeah.
So you are leaving too much at stake.
Do you think they're going to renew with Ben relatively?
They'll most likely renew because Ben is he's done well. He's gone through.
That's never been a measure over here.
Huh?
That's never been a measure over here. If there's a guy with
he stuck it out. It's been hellish. He stuck it out with nothing,
that'll be awesome. Yeah. Please,
because you see, the man's dream is this. The man wants to stage Miss World here, so that is his ultimate dream. I think if he can stage Miss World, he'll be like, okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm out.
I'm done.
And now we can get him on the show.
Yeah. So Lesotho is about to win this thing, and it puts us even closer to being able to stage the Miss World, pageant in Botswana.
I get it's on Friday. When
is it's like in a couple of days, 2-3 days.
It's been on for the past 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
I feel you completely, Papa, and I love that at least you guys put it in a position like this. So I just wanted to give you your flowers.
No, I'm very proud that I was there, especially from the time where she was crowned. And I want to thank all the judges that worked on there. I was actually going to send them a shout out on this thing. Bojas Kendibo. I know there's Penyo Moroka was one of the judges during that time. No, Penyo was
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller. But go to your next question. Let me just look up their names. I want to send them a shout out.
Yeah, no. Go tell them.
Hey, Moren, kana na ke munu wa
no, tumetsa dula se ke tella gape. Kante kante we rayanyano. No, ke ra ke tsona. I'm just happy you're here with me, Papa. I'm looking at the but I'm learning something also, and Like,
So
at
there was
least
Candy Tselaya Khosi, who was one of the judges, and she was a sponsor on that. There was Lorata Tebogo, who was chief judge. Fafa
Lorato's
Pirinyane,
been Miss Botswana.
been Miss Botswana.
Yeah, what's up, mama?
There was Penyo Moroka, and there was
That was the most, the person who didn't have any qualifications being there. But
Why?
we appreciate that you were there, Papa.
So they selected your
That's
queen.
my
I know there
brother,
was somebody else from. Yeah, there was somebody else from The Voice who was there.
No, I know he's going to cuss me out when he reads this thing. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here on the Local Corner Multimedia YouTube page, where you get every single episode of PODI-CAST plus more of BW's finest and most exclusive content. But right now, though, we're hanging out with Bad Boy Brando right here on the PODI-CAST. If you are looking to send your parcels from Botswana and South Africa, Expert Express Deliveries BW offers courier and logistics services between Botswana and Joburg on a daily overnight express delivery basis at competitive rates. Now, all you got to do is visit www.expertexpress.co.bw for more information or to book a collection. Or you can always contact them on +267 7549 8811. That's +267 7549 8811. Expert Express Deliveries. Anything, anywhere, on time. I want to talk to you about the MCing industry in BW. I see you. I mean, you just came back from Kasani.
Yeah.
Okavango, Royal. It's a
Royal Rumble.
Royal in Okavango.
Yeah, the Rumble in the jungle.
Since you look like Mike Tyson, this is why they hired you.
No, look, these guys, we are still in talks. They got me for their press conference. There's a Rumble in the Okavango. There's a fight.
It's called the Rumble in the Okavango.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the idea is for them to bring in Mike Tyson. They want to bring in Mike Tyson to come and watch the fight. There's a fight between one of our local boxers and a Philippines boxer. I forget their names.
No doubt.
So we're still in talks, but the fight is supposed to happen this month.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Because you are MC for every other thing.
Yeah.
Brando, when you're doing all of these things, because we were speaking about spirituality and how you're able to learn other skills and all of that, how then do you take on a skill like MCing? Is it survival, or is it God calling it onto you, or is it something you've been harnessing since you were a kid? Because some of these things with these youngsters, and I'm justifying my question anyway, so some of these things with these kids, they say we're hogging the industry.
Yeah.
So when you come up with these other things to do, what is it? Is it because you're trying to stay relevant, or you're trying to make a check, or you genuinely are good at this shit?
I love being a multifaceted person. I consider myself, in terms of my creativity, like a Swiss knife.
Yeah.
So I treat myself like that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that's not gonna want to learn how to write a script or how to, structure a stand-up comedy. Because I'm always constantly learning, and I think that's the whole point of life. So even the whole MCing thing, like being a ringmaster, these are things that I've seen being done in the world.
And the voice of God, like
the voice of God. It's actually a thing.
Yeah.
When Botswana or whoever calls, they be like, B, we need VOG. It's called
you
VOG.
sit in the back and you're holding the mic and
The mic.
Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the President of the Republic. I did that for Sissy Boy when he came in with Steve Harvey. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Eric Kabete Masisi.
Yo.
And Steve Harvey. I did that. I make it do what it do. Steve look at me like, what he do? You need to say my name louder than that. So I put myself in that situation where, you know what? Just do it.
Just do
because
it.
Why not?
Yeah.
And I used to love, I listened to movie trailers. I listened to movie trailers, and then I was like, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
and I just train myself how to do it. I think you need to do that. The more you can do, the better off you are. So the emceeing, the voice of God, the voice artistry, being a voice actor, all of that.
The comedic skits.
All of that, yeah. Even the comedy, the animation, just engulf yourself. Because why would you limit yourself?
Are you the rat inside the bank?
I think if I was even in any other country, I could have been a porn star, but
But in this country, because I think you're a dreamer, a lot of it. Do you think
I'm a big dreamer.
When are we gonna be able to I don't know, man, not even technically train, but really, really embrace creative talent? I know we use it, go the rallying, these as examples of greatness. Right now how they're posting about Lesero. This girl played the guitar, man.
Yeah, that was dope.
It's like, what the hell?
That was dope.
And
Girl
sang
got talent.
and stuff,
And she sang My African Dream.
And she sang My
That
African
was beautiful.
Dream. That is like a whole
You're doing the
movement.
things that need to be done, baby girl.
Yo, so
and you deserve this crown.
How do we get our
Leverage.
own people to start appreciating creative talent instead of trying to use it only? Because that's what we do. We think we're using it. We think we're helping it by having kids dance at the airport when people come in. But you don't know where these kids live. You don't know.
Yeah. But also, people are tired of that, huh? Like some delegates will be like, no, we don't want the traditional kids. Do something else. Because it becomes a thing where it's like a template.
Yeah,
and people are like, but don't you have other things that you can do? I think that is remedied by, the guys who just need to become the gatekeepers of this thing. Because we tend to look to others. We tend to look to somebody else to say, no, right now we've got a minister of youth there, he will do this. No. He's got his own agenda.
Yeah.
So it's up to individuals like yourself and me. You can be a gatekeeper for hip-hop to say, you know what, I want to drive hip-hop culture to there.
Yeah.
To a BK Proctor to say, you know what, I've started this clothing, apparel thing. I want to be a gatekeeper so we can initiate. You see what I'm saying? And then within that spectrum, you say, we've seen the exploitation happen over the years. It stops.
Yeah.
I'm a master of ceremony. I'm trying to put together a Batswana Association. I've been talking to guys who say, Born, come. As Giselle, as this one, as this one, as this one. Let's sit together and set standards and set, to sort of say the rate for moderation is this. We have to organize it.
Yeah. Get organized.
Yeah, because when it's not organized, then people can just take advantage. You see what I'm saying? If somebody calls you for a gig, okay, it's a stadium event. We should generally know as artists, no, I can't perform Go Stadium for less than 45,000. Or I can't do moderation at an event for less than, 30.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's not fixing the price. It's sort of saying, don't undercut yourself. Because you are essentially taking money out of your own pocket thinking that you are undercutting me.
Yeah.
Because if you were to charge 20,000 instead of 10, you would have made 20,000.
Double, my man.
Yeah. Or play within that space.
Yeah.
So the problem is us. We look to people who don't understand what it is that we do to think that they can fix the film industry, to think that they will fix music for us, they will fix visual arts for us. They don't get it. They don't understand why they're paying 200,000. It's a mural, my man.
But why would they rather give cast like 150,000 for 30 minutes plus flights, accommodation, per diem, and hospitality? And then I have to negotiate for 10. What in their heads, these MFs, what do you think goes through their heads? Justifying that shit, 150K versus 10 grand that I have to wait for 3 months to get, dog.
Yeah.
And then that nigga gets, and I love Cass, he's our nigga, you know what I mean? But just like with any one of them, I'm just trying to, you've been doing this longer than me, B.
Yeah.
How does someone justify being able to, when I was to or wherever at agency on a Monday, and then find the accountant is on leave, nigga. On the day you coming for your dough.
But you see, that's a
tiger.
Yeah, because they know because they know they are dealing with an artist that, for instance, is not even protected by the Arts Council, which also needs to get their house in order, because that's where the protection comes from. We are dealing with an industry that has people that are always constantly undercutting each other. And it's a problem. Because if we are not unified, if you're not
as
unified,
fragmented as Reoloping once said.
yes, we are. We are, Scar, and that's where the exploitation comes in.
But they help with the exploitation, though.
Who?
With the MySex of this world.
Yes.
You know what they do?
They set prices for us at the ministry to say
it's niggas they go to school with, and some of these people, I really don't have an answer for all of it, but it's really frustrating, and this is why I pose these questions to you, because a lot of these artists, you were there doing your own thing. When you walk in that building, you walk in there alone. I never like walking into the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. I know it's good for whatever else is going on outside of Gaborone.
Yeah.
But this entitlement that we have, that these people need to give us money, has had us messed up. And then the ones that do get money end up messing us up, who think we can work in the private sector. But
it's also a value thing, right? It's the value of you as an artist, because you see over the years you are supposed to garner more value. You can't still be the guy that's charging 10,000 5 years later. So if you don't treat yourself as a brand that grows in value over the years, then you'll forever be the guy that's getting 5,000-6,000. So I generally also think that there's education that needs to happen with brands, right? I'll give you an example. People complain a lot about sporty Sarah collections, but BK doesn't flinch because he knows the price of creating that product. What is the price of Scar stepping on stage for 5 minutes? So when you want Scar on stage for 10-15 minutes, it's 3 times the price, because that's it. I do the same thing. I'll tell guys, listen, I am this much for an hour. I get it. If you want me to MC for you for an hour, this is how much you get. 2 hours is double the price. So you understand? So I think we also just need to treat ourselves as brands and then put a price to it, because there's never negotiations with the price of other things, but there's always negotiations with your service. So if Wena, as the service provider, doesn't want to value your service or your talent, then it fluctuates. And when it fluctuates, you lose money. So once you start realizing, I'm not going to go up there and make your people laugh for less than.
I'm gonna hold you to that also. Drama Boy did it. It didn't end well.
Because he didn't have the support. He needed the rest of us to support him. He needed everybody to back him up. And you see those people that say, but people, I am worth X amount of money. That's essentially why you'll pay Casper and you invest whatever you pay him or whoever. Because Casper doesn't flinch. Nasty C doesn't flinch.
Yeah. Mapetla never flinched, man.
Thank
R.I.P.
you. Rest in peace, King.
Yeah.
We must understand the value of the art that we put on the table. It's art. There's an artist in America who sold an art for 8 million US dollars.
Yeah, Botswana.
Right? Yeah. But because he's there doing art that he understands the value of.
Yeah.
And there's an artist, chances are in the country, who can do paintings better than him.
Yeah.
But because he's here selling his art for 3,000 pula.
Gosh.
So it's the value that you put on what you are worth. It's your worth. Put a price on yourself and tell people, this is how much I'm worth. Take it or leave it. But then we become negotiators of the stomach.
Hey, I get mutaka
thank you. And that is
because a lot of us can't hold that front, but
you need
just
to.
hold it, hold it down.
You need to. And I just generally think with the entertainment industry, we also need to start understanding that there's a world out there. I hear a lot of people that talk about, hey, go Tomorrowland. Yeah.
I remember picking
what
him
are
up
you
myself,
still? Thank you. What are you still doing here? Because he has progressed to bigger money.
Yeah.
So our biggest demise is that, Lord, now we then sit here, you become a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
You can't be a shark swimming in a pond for a goldfish. It never works. Yeah. And that's where the level of frustration comes from. Never allowed some big brother or boy Hollywood.
Yeah.
or
Makes sense.
idols or whatever.
Everyone always says that. Oh goodness, there's people applauding in the set.
No, even me.
No way.
The same things that I'm saying to you are the same things that I should have done.
And you know what
I'm
I
a
can
world
tell
talent.
you. And what I can tell you about that is because like a lot of people that we expected to not even help us. I think this is why I have this attitude about PODI-CAST, in that like I'm not about to go knock in the government for money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna build this thing based on Batswana loving it, and then the people who we work with associating with us. Because I think if you want to give us money, give us.
Well, the dependency on government.
Hey,
yeah.
but then when they give you a once off, for some reason, after niggas hold that money, they don't know how to then build from there. Yeah. But we live also in a country where your company, like private, you can't make money if you don't have at least the PO, government. It doesn't matter what company you run. You have to have radio stations. You have to have advertising. If it's a parastatal, we all have to get some money from the government.
Scar,
and I don't know when that's going to stop.
Yeah, but there are companies that survive without necessarily doing business with the government. Do you see what I'm saying?
Collections.
Well, and others. And others.
Which ones? Like, to make real money. Like, okay, I don't know.
There are companies that survive outside of government.
I don't think so.
No, but they are.
In Botswana.
Didn't.
No, hit us up on the comments and let us know.
Did the indie companies or they can survive outside of, getting work from government? It'll just make your life easier to get a government PO. And look, there's nothing wrong with also wanting work from government. It's your government. If there's work that they can give you,
won't grow
they must
if
give
we
you.
Stay there only.
Yes, that cannot be your only source of income and dependence. So don't depend too much on them.
I want to wrap it up with the lifestyle brand specializing in footwear, apparel, and accessories. Yeah. Collections by BK Proctor.
Yeah.
How did you meet BK Proctor? Because me and you are rocking all of these clothes, Mrena.
BK, yeah. BK obviously gets to Mike Proctor. Proc. So when Proc gave up working on the music to move into other things, he then sort of handed his equipment to BK. Ha popi ni hale.
Oh, at the top there.
Godimura, BK Ababula studio, Basement Records.
Yes, sir.
So then I started working with BK way back then, and people don't actually know. Arco That's a song that BK recorded.
But you see, you're killing my verse, man. Listen tough.
So BK recorded the song. So me and BK go way back when to back then. It was a crazy song, but you know what inspired that song?
Yeah.
Joe Thomas.
Not Kels.
No, not Kels. It was Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas had a song called Knock, 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 right? So we were in the studio trying to do an R&B Setswana song like that.
Yeah.
And then V walked in and then walked out. And then after that, I don't know what happened after the session. I left. And then Nakomediano.
But we still with you though. Like, when did you discover that you were actually a funny dude? Like, you can actually put it on, because like the songs were hilarious at first.
Yeah.
Because Mapula was amazing to me. Because I hadn't heard R&B like
Yeah, a
that.
touch of humor. Yeah.
But then there was also a little bit of underlying humor. Yeah. And now when we did Coco,
that's when the humor came out.
Yeah.
And I think, look, that just happened because we were just goofing around in the studio. Because then it became like, let's just do this.
Because them niggas are hilarious too.
They're funny, right? They're real funny. So that was just like spur of the moment magic happening. One of the best songs I've ever done,
Why isn't it played at the radio stations?
I don't even know.
Where is it? Do we have a file?
It's a song in the past. No, it's there. I've got CDs.
Yeah, then why don't we go around? Why aren't you putting it online?
I can do that.
Why not?
It's just the
why
thing.
Haven't you?
It's just the thing that I haven't done. It's because I've been busy doing other things.
Why have you not? Don't you think that, because I was at the St. Louis homegrown,
the creatives thing.
Yeah, we were chilling to have the homegrown, and they kept putting us on blast, like old ass niggas, like gray ass niggas. Priscilla K say some shit about like
I'm trying to do a song with Priscilla K. You need to hit me up.
Yeah, no, she's an amazing talent, that one. The other day, and she'll be talking slow. The other day, we were just going through the songs from back in the day.
Yeah.
And we can't find them anywhere.
So
and I didn't even know.
That's on us. We need to put that music out into the world. We were doing.
I'm putting my music on.
You are okay, cool. When I leave here, I'm gonna do that.
Hey.
We are. We didn't have any of this back in the day. So Totahela, it gives us an opportunity to go and get the cassettes and transfer onto the USB and then. Wow.
Because you are around BK, Mike Proctor, Natasha Proctor, Proctor Land. You are hyphen Proctor.
Yeah.
What do you think these niggas are trying to do with these collections? Or what do you hear them say? Like, this has caught us all off guard.
But you know the collection story, right? Did BK tell you the collection story?
No, BK, like that's all he does.
Because BK...
So, like, I was just talking, he laughed.
Because BK was going to buy studio equipment when he went to China.
He did say that.
He tell you the story.
He didn't say studio equipment. He said he was... niggas will try and be like, philosophical. So
yeah, he was going to buy studio equipment, and then he met some Chinese guy who said to him, "You want to buy studio equipment? No, buy this one. This one you waste time. Buy this one here.
This one."
Yeah. No, don't need to manufacture. I made for you. So he found a Chinese guy who then sort of showed him that, listen, this is where the money's at. Yeah, and he was with TH at the time.
I remember when they used to make those trips to China.
Yeah, they did the trip to China. BK came back with the collections. TH came back with a whole suitcase full of clothes for himself. I heard the story. So, so he bought fashion for himself. BK bought fashion to sell. So so that's how he then started with collections. But I
started getting all of these clothes, and some of them broke apart, like the initial ones.
Yeah.
And I think this is why I get so many clothes. I thought maybe it was because I was like.
But with everything, there's always
you gotta start.
You gotta start somewhere.
I love that.
But I think where this whole thing is going is that you're looking at a family that genuinely believes in Botswana, and they're very pro Botswana. They're for Botswana made products. Okay.
You talking to me?
Yeah. Oh. So it's a real sort of Botswana based. They really believe in sort of creating homegrown brands. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I think where they're going is that they've had this epiphany, but it also stems from. I give a lot of credit to George Proctor, because George is somebody that he's an architect, by the way, who. Is extremely creative, and he's a silent influence. Very silent. He's been very impactful in my life, in BK's life, in everybody's life.
Yeah.
So he influences a lot of what you're seeing happening now.
And in closing, thank you so much, Bad Boy, for coming, hanging out with us.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask you too much about what you're up to, because you're definitely coming back here.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming back. This was really dope.
Yes, sir.
The PODI-CAST is happening. I am working on some music. I'm doing the Afro Tech stuff of the Grandpa Comedy Sessions, which you're going to see on the Local Corner YouTube page. Check me out there. I'm about to start my stand-up. Yeah. So we about to put on the funniest people in Botswana on a platform, and we try to take comedy to the next level, because everybody's always been like, my guy, we think you can do it, do it. Sir. So this is me doing it.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Did you
enjoy the patty?
I enjoyed the patty. It's I'm more of a whiskey guy, because I've always been told wait until you're old enough to drink, and I think I'm old enough to drink.
You're old enough now. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of the week, and also get yourself a patty. You can get it at any liquor rama around BW. It's your boy SCAR, Local Corner. Yo, live from Leo's Inn. We out.
Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Yeah. Peace.
People of different identities. PODI-CAST with BSCAR.